Hello, fellow comic book worms. This is Naman. Welcome to my channel. Otaku Young is late. So, today is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month Eve, the day before. So, what we're going to do is Otaku Young and I are going to discuss the our past experience. Last year, we celebrated the May month, and then we're going to discuss, our future guest that's coming up. Hey, Matt. So that's what we're planning, and I'm waiting for him. Are you still here, Matt? Or hey, Phil, how are you from South Canada? Hey, K-pop. All right. This just gonna be a hangout. I'm gonna. One of the things that the Comic Journey mentioned was, hey, what is who is included in this Asian Pacific American Heritage Month? So I'm gonna go ahead and bring up this page here. So, whoop, it's hard for me to read that. Okay, my camera's in the way. Anyway, baby. Okay, feel okay, cool. So, May is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Library of Congress, National Archives and Records Administration, National Endowment for Humanity, National Gallery of Art, National Park Service, Smithsonian Institution, United States Holocaust Memorial Museum join in paying tribute to generations of Asian and Pacific Islanders who have enriched America's history and are instrumental in its future success. I hope so. I hope so. Let's go ahead and look at about. So here's May is Asian slash Pacific American Heritage Month, a celebration of Asians and Pacific Islanders in the United States. A rather broad term, Asian slash Pacific encompasses all of the Asian continent and Pacific islands of Melanesia. So that includes New Guinea, New Caledonia, Vanuatu, Fiji, and Solomon Islands. Micronesia, that's the Mauritius, Guam. Hey, I've been to Guam. Wake Island, Palau, Marshall Islands, Kiribati, Nauru, and the federal states of Micronesia. And Polynesia, New Zealand. Hey, New Zealand is included in here. Okay, Hawaiian Islands, Rotuma, Midway Islands, Samoa, American Samoa, Tonga, Tubula, Cook Islands, French Polynesia, and Eastern Islands. So that's cool. Yo, Jackson, how are you, sir? 1 minute. Now, Otaku Ihan was here that he had a problem with the devices. Looks like he's having a problem with the connecting with the device. There he is. There he is. How are you, sir? How are you?
What's up, young?
I'm just trying to educate myself on what is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month and why we celebrate it. So, so I was, uh, CJ asked me, which people are included in all this. So I'm just reading this portion, the top portion right here. So, oops, what happened? So anyway, so a lot of countries and islands and are included in this. It's a very inclusive group. um, you know, I like to get to the point one of these days where, you know, such a group doesn't have to be recognized in this way. We like to just say, hey, we messed up here. We did good here, no matter what race we are, or, you know, but we're not there. So sometimes we need some representation. So I'm glad that May is a good month to have a May is a good month to celebrate our heritage, and it's among a whole bunch of countries, not just one country or one type of even race. I think there are different races in here, definitely. So, hey Jackson, I mean, yeah, we can still imagine. uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. What is that? Uh, Beatles. I forgot what's his name. John Lennon. Yeah, John Lennon. Yeah. If we could get there, that'd be nice. I don't think we're there yet, but we can dream, right? Anyway, we're gonna last year we had David Nakayama, John Boy Myers, Greg LaRoque, as far as artists is concerned, Greg LaRoque, and of course Ryan Odegawa. There he is. Oizy. You here for good?
My apologies. My camera is. I got a bad connection on the camera, so it dies. I think
Okay.
you've. I definitely need to get. I think a new webcam for these interviews. I don't want to have the
Yeah, this
camera die on me.
Logicam is really good. Logicam. I haven't Logicam. I like this camera.
Yeah, just my
Let me see if
connection is.
let me see if I can show the. I have two of them.
All right. Well, hello everybody. Yeah, Young. I'm glad you brought up the fact that there's a lot of Asian Americans that aren't aware of Asia Pacific American Heritage Month. And they keep changing the name. Now, I think this year it's going to be Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month,
Yeah.
which is a little bit of a different from what it was in the past. And I heard you mention that it's a sort of all inclusive group.
Yeah. It's a huge group.
It's a huge group if you think about it. Asia Pacific. So the Asia Pacific is like all of the land mass of Asia plus the Pacific Islands plus Oceania,
Yeah.
right? Technically,
I mean, if when someone say, "Hey, you're dedicating whole month to this group," but it's a humongous group.
it's a humongous group. I mean,
So,
um, if you were to just divvy it up to East Asia, it'd be huge. But
yeah.
then you're adding Southeast Asia, which is huge. And you're talking about so many, like hundreds of languages, hundreds of different ethnicities. Because even within, let's say, a country like Indonesia, right, you've got so many different uh, regional
Yeah.
like languages and groups. So it's not fair in a lot of ways to group us together like that. Um, but at the
We
same
got the whole month. We got the whole month.
yeah, we got the whole month, and at the same time, I mean, how are you gonna you know you we do have our individual like Korean American like day, Japanese American day. We have these individual like days where we celebrate the diversity in this country. But yeah, for the in terms of grouping us together, it's like Korean people and just going back to Indonesian people. Culturally, we're about as different as you can. Like to group us together is really like kind of like grouping you know um, like this like Spanish and like the Norwegians together in a group.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like I guess you could do that. and that
Yeah.
Europeans, they count as Europeans, I guess, but
Yeah.
very diverse.
Hello, Kenneth. How are you, sir?
What's up, Kenneth? Glad to see a lot of people here in the chat. So yeah, I mean, I think you were going back to what this day is about, and um, it's about celebrating Asian American heritage, Pacific Islander heritage, and understanding those histories. Um, you know, uh, a lot of people don't realize Hawaii was basically stolen land. We uh, basically forced the Hawaiian people to give up their land and just took it over. And that history cannot be lost. So we don't repeat these um, tragic mistakes. And that's something I think we need to recognize every year for a month. So there's a lot of great Asian Americans like Yuri Kochiyama, civil rights leader, Daniel Inouye, who's a former senator and World War II hero, Young-ok Kim, also a World War II veteran and hero. Um, I mean, Larry Itliong, who's a great labor. There he is, right there. That's a picture of Larry Itliong, Filipino migrant worker who organized migrant workers and uh, basically ensured them like labor unions and rights. We've got Grace Lee Boggs, great academician and historian. Helen Zia, another uh, wonderful civil rights leader. So many great people throughout American history. Um, Even Shaimala Gapalan, she's Kamala Harris's mother. I probably murdered her name, but Shamala Gapalan is deserves to be celebrated. She was a wonderful academician and scientist in her own right,
Amen.
and she gave birth to our current vice president. So I mean, these are the kinds of like stories and people we want to celebrate. People who've contributed to our American society, and that includes you and me, Hung. It includes you and me. We contribute to American society every day as American citizens, and
Sure, sure. I mean, everybody in the chat room too, but this is yeah, yeah, sure, yeah,
yeah, yeah. And it's just kind of recognizing that America's not just one country with one group of people, but that we really are very. I mean, I don't know if for Americans who traveled abroad, like if you go to a place like South Korea, if you go to a place like Japan, 98% of the country is all one race, all one people, right? You go to China, like 98% of people there are all Chinese. But here in America, what makes America, I think, wonderful is um, it's so diverse.
yeah,
You know, you don't have that. You don't have like, it's literally just such a. I mean, you go to a place, you go some places like California, for example. It's just such a diverse place, and so that's what makes I think America just so amazing and interesting and great, and we want to celebrate that diversity. So that's how I look at the month.
sure.
Yeah, your thoughts?
Yeah, I expressed my thoughts already. Uh, like I like to, like I said before, I like to get to the point where when we talk about America, we talk it as a one day we could just say, hey, we messed up here, we did good here, we built this country up this way, and you know, without talking about race or without talking about, we're not there yet, you know. So people need to
Well,
recognize
so
what we
we're-
have contributed, uh, because yeah, people need representation right now. People need representation, and giving us a 1 month, we could say, hey, this is too big a group. Uh,
yeah,
can we
uh,
be all be recognized in this 1 month?
yeah,
But I'm still thankful for that we have a whole month to represent all these different group of people.
yeah.
So
I'll bring up this point, and we can kind of move on. Um, America's values. No one
anyway,
denies. No one denies how great America's values are. We really are a society where it's we every individual in this country has rights, and we protect those rights. We defend that freedom, right? Um, but if you look at society and how it's structured, not everybody has the same access, the same. Uh, if you look at they don't have the same opportunities, and until and I think you brought up a good point. Until that is rings true, if you can say, okay, it's a truly equal society where no one group of people has an advantage over another group of people, and you see that across the board in society, and we break those barriers of race and inequality.
feelings and whatnot, right?
Yeah, then we'll be in a good place. But that's a really hard thing to.
Of course,
It's a really hard thing
very
to
idealistic.
overcome.
I mean, that's a utopia, I guess. But
It is a
that,
utopia. And
that's what we have to. I mean, we are advertising that, right? As a nation, we're advertising that. Hey, this is all our country is about. We are all created equal, and we all can uh, pursue happiness as individuals. That's what we advertise. Are we there yet? No, but that's what we all strive for,
yeah,
and until we get there, uh, occasionally we need some representation. Highlight, and this is the month where we highlight this particular group of people. So
yeah. I
it's
think
not,
it
it's not,
really.
it's not we're not saying, hey, no, we're going to exclude all the other races. we're, we're just saying, hey, this particular month we are highlighting this group of people.
Yeah,
So that's why we have invited these different artists for the comic book community. That's why have invited this particular group of people that are artists, that are collectors, and for this to match up the community that
yeah,
we are in, right?
yeah.
So,
Well, I
hey,
think
Kamikaze,
I will say this about. So we're going to now kind of move into the comic book uh, world, and that's what we're not really celebrating Asia Pacific American Heritage Month as it relates to society. We're not going to, although it's we would recommend you go out and read some history on Asian Americans. This is a great resource right here, the website that
yeah,
Naman Young's showing. But what Naman Young and I are going to focus on is the contribution of Asian Americans to both the collecting community and to the comic book industry. And luckily, Asian American presence is very strong in the comic book community. I mean, some of the top artists in the industry right now are Asian or of Asian heritage, right? And so I'm very proud of that. And we want to celebrate that because I think anybody who's a collector of comic books, I mean, they know they understand the contributions of someone like Jim Lee, right? Who's Korean American and has done so much for um, the medium. Um, in his own way. And again, he's just a very talented artist, but he's um, just opened doors for so many people in the industry when he was at Wildstorm, even to today with DC, and just collaborating with a lot of different artists and bringing them into um, basically being able to highlight their work and have their contributions be featured at DC. So, yeah, who are some of your favorite Asian American like comic book artists or creators or writers?
Well, Jim Lee is definitely up there, right? I mean, you and I are debating who's the number one Jim Lee fan. I'll let you win, but but doesn't mean you know 100% into that. But uh, definitely Kim San-ho, because of Roger from Metal introduced me to Kim San-ho, so he's definitely up there. Uh, he's like 80 some years old now. Uh, I would love to have him. I mean, interview him one of these days. But yeah, then I'm really thankful for Dave Nakayama, John Boy Myers, of course, Ryan Odegawa, who started all this for me. So yeah, I really appreciate those guys. You know, taking time to come to our channel and talk to us. Greg LaRoque. I'm gonna show some of the books. I'm gonna show some of these books. I already showed on uh, my video that I made before, but I feel like a live stream crowd is a little bit different, so I'm gonna show them off here.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of pals with Greg LaRoque now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are kind of pals, and I think that's awesome because I really Greg LaRoque, because I grew up reading, Web of Spider-Man, and he was so he had such a, I mean, he basically, was like the artist who started out on that run, and that run's still going to today. So, um, the fact that you like, I know we interviewed him. It was like a big honor for me to just meet him virtually
Lynn,
and just get to
Joe.
engage with him. But yeah, you actually got to meet him and hang out with him. Can you talk about what that was like?
Well, it wasn't really. I mean, I got to his booth and he was there alone, so he actually asked people to, hey, can you watch my booth while I go and go restroom or go get me lunch or whatever. So I start sitting there. Anyway, it was then I saw the comic book fan in him, for instance. Hey, can you sit here while I go and get a signature from Mike Grill? And he pulls out a comic book and he goes to Mike Grill and get his book signed. And he didn't charge you anything? He charged me. but because he's in the industry, Mike Grill knew him already, and so that was I mean, it was fun. It was really fun getting to know him, filming him while he's drawing, and then I told him, hey, I draw too, and he's telling me, hey, yeah, you really gotta, if you wanna, work the circuit, you really gotta know how to draw certain. I mean, you gotta just come out with the action, whatever the drawing you do, without a reference. The only reference he needed was, like, for instance, when like he was drawing I want to flip this and show his, when he was drawing this, only thing he had to he recognizes what kind of boots she had and how long that thing was, and but rest of the figures, he draw from his head.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome too. That original sketch right there.
yeah. So yeah. By the way, this is the. Let me go ahead and show this book. This is Greg Rook's first work at Marvel.
Comics. Mhm.
Yeah. Justin is the one who advertised, Justin is Greg Rook's son, by the way, guy from No Good Comics. Anyway, I got a whole bunch of these at Hershey's Con in Pennsylvania, July 1st, I think.
Cool.
I got like a 1, 2, 3,
Nice.
4,
Whoa, you getting all those signed?
5,
Whoa.
6. I got 6 of them. So I'm gonna, when Greg Rook comes and talk to us, I'm gonna give these away. I'm gonna walk it to HersheyCon in July, then have him sign it, then send it to whoever
Winners. Yeah.
whoever wins. Of
Awesome.
course.
So look out for that, guys. Come. Don't miss the Greg LaRocque interview this month in May.
And then I got a bunch of this is
Rhino
This is-
Degawa. Hmm.
Rhino Degawa's book,
That's a great cover too.
Iron Man 53. He worked with he did this cover with the Mike Grell.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is try to get Ryan to sign it. I may even get some of these signed by Mike Ray if he shows up on any of the cons. I'm going to send this over and see if Ryan will sign this for me. And then if he agrees to it, then either I have him send it or he send all that back to me and I'll send it out to whoever wins these.
And are we going to make it simple, like people who are we going to do like a hashtag?
Yeah, we're going to do that. Oh, I do need to test something.
Let's do it.
I need to test something. Let's see.
While you get that ready, I'm going to get my one of my favorite comic book Asian American comic book artists, a work by him.
Okay. PayPal raised an interesting question. We are splitting up our chat room. We are streaming it into both the Otaku's channel and my channel. But will this recognize a hashtag from Otaku's channel? So I'm running this. Can someone go to Otaku's channel? Or Kenneth is in Kenneth Byers.
I'll go to my channel.
Okay, and push a hashtag test, and I want to see if I could collect it from yours.
Okay.
Let me see. Now it's a 0. If
All right, you need write test.
yeah, hashtag test.
Why can't I?
Kenneth, if you're still over there, oh, Joe did it.
I'm not able to comment on mine for some reason.
Joe, you went to Otaku's and you did it right there, right? Oh no, Jay, don't do it. Okay, looks like Joe did it and it came through. So
Okay.
yeah, let me see if I could put it.
I guess because it's my channel, I can't comment on it. It's not letting me comment for some reason.
Did it recognize mine? Yeah, it recognized mine. So yeah, this because all the test is coming through this main host channel, so it's recognizing everybody's count. So okay, cool. Okay. Matter of fact, let me see if I do it here, will it recognize here? Let me see if I do it on my channel. Will it recognize it? Let's see. Hashtag test. You shouldn't recognize it. You shouldn't go up to full.
Now give me something. Joe wants something. We'll give you a free pass to our content this month.
Okay. All right. I think it's working fine. Okay. So it does take a hashtag from your channel as well. So that's good. So
Okay, so we're gonna give away some books during this Asian American Heritage Month.
I told you I was giving these away during each one of these.
Yep.
On John Boy Myers, I want to tell a story about John Boy Myers, by the way.
Do it.
I ordered 2 mystery boxes from John Boy Myers.
Ooh, nice.
And there were 75 each. So what I was going to do was during John Boy Miles, give 1 box away. I was going to open one myself. Then it went to wrong address. It went to the
Trev's. Oh, okay.
Reason being,
Trev's not returning those.
Yeah.
If you went to like another person, you might have got it.
What happened was John Boy Myers website had a little option where I could get all the books signed. So I said, hey, I want every book in the mystery box signed, right? So it looks like what they do is they send that book to John Boy Miles. He signs them, then he sends it to whoever bought the book. Then they have to pay extra shipping because it went through the extra shipping. Well, Trev paid for the shipping. He thought it was his. And then he sent a thank you message to John Boy Myers. Then I said, hey, when I noticed the UPS sent to the Trev, I say, hey, those are went to the wrong address. Reason he went to wrong address because Trev won a book from me from David Nakayama.
Mm-hmm.
And John Boy Myers and Dave Nakayama use the same distribution center to ship their books.
So you added like a cookie
so
with
you
his information.
Remember Travis's address, and he never asked me for the address when I went to John Boy Myers, and so
Trev has your comments.
he sent the book to back, but I had to pay the shipping. Then I had to pay the shipping back to me, and
you should have let Trev keep one book. You should have let Trev keep one book.
I offered that, and he said he's going to send it all.
Okay.
So he sent it all, but I'm going to make a mystery box. By the way, so here are the books. Okay, 1 box I was going to keep, right? So what I'm going to do is let's pay attention to the chat. Hi, Jimmy. Hey, Jay.
Jimmy Lacari.
There's Bill is here. Jimmy Lacari is here.
Bill?
And Glitter's here. Glitter and duct tape.
Glitter and duct tape. What's up?
If I take a free pass, do I have to watch Namin's content? Yes, you do.
You can pay us not to watch it.
Hey, Chop, how are you?
What's up, Chop? Jay's Mix.
All right, so these are the books I got. I think I'm going to send this back to because
show that cover right there. Show it. Nice.
I'm going to send, because he says he's a DC. I'm going to send it back to Trev.
Oh, nice.
One of the mystery boxes. I'm going to send this back to him.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that's one. It has this one has COA. Not all of them has COA. So then I'm keeping this, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not giving this away.
Ooh. That's
Look at that red signature. I love that red signature and that
What character is that? A
Wolverine.
Wolverine. It's Wolverine. Nice. Old man Logan. Sweet.
So I'm keeping this. I'm keeping this.
Wow. That's the Invincible variant that
Yeah.
was on Comic Tom.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah. They're giving that out. Exclusive Comic Tom variant.
I love this.
That's a great cover.
So I'm keeping that. Sorry, guys. I'm not giving that away. I love these black and white sketch. I'm keeping this.
Ooh. Nice.
I think that's it. I think that is there a 3 book? Yeah. Okay. Rest of these, I think I'll be giving away. Look at that.
Nice. Batman.
Yeah. It's a Batgirl cover. Batgirl comic book issue 4.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know what this is. Is that a War Machine?
That looks like War Machine, yeah.
But it says Venom.
Oh, it's maybe a venomized War Machine.
Yeah. It has,
Ooh, sweet.
these are version covers, so
Kind of
this
looks like
is
Spawn,
I'm giving
too.
these away when Jumbo Maya is coming.
Nice.
Carnage.
Carnage. Mhm.
Man,
Wow,
he's killing
that's
with
a
he's
mean
killing with
Carnage.
he's killing with this cover, man.
Yeah.
I think this is Stray Dog. I'm not sure. All these are like a virgin copies.
Awesome.
Alien.
Ooh, that's sweet. Oh, I want that one. Man, that looks awesome.
Okay, I was gonna offer you could have one of these. Your choice. So that's yours now.
All right. Oh, I love that. Something is killing the children cover. That's a version one, huh?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I don't know what this is. You know what this is?
That's Sagat. Is it? No, wait. Who's that? I don't know. I'm not sure. Looks like Sagat, but he's got a sword and.
I like to keep them all, Jay. I like to keep them all, Jay. But I don't know who
He's
this
got a
is.
lot of them. Isn't that like
Is
got
there's a gold signature there?
John? Is that John Stewart?
Maybe John Stewart, Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Is
No.
there a ring there?
Is there a ring? I don't know.
see it.
Okay.
Uh,
Luke Cage? I don't know.
I
Somebody?
don't know either. He said things are flying around him, so I don't know if it's Luke Cage. He got the eyes. Something is happening to his eyes. Man, look at that cover, man. He's just killing it. Anyway, so those are.
If you know who that is in the chat, drop it in.
Anybody who knows, let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I say. Which one you? So,
Yeah, that alien's nice.
so the alien's your book now. So let me go over again. When Jumbo is here, there's going to be a Trev's book. That's mine.
Nice.
Mine.
Nice.
Mine.
Nice.
And Otaku.
Yeah.
The rest of these going to be given away.
So we're gonna give them away individually or as like a
Individually. I
altogether?
think
Individual. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. The more the merrier.
Yeah. Because I was going to make a mystery box, but it turned out bad, I guess. More people will get some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the first day we're going to be Ryan Odega is going to be here. So if Ryan don't like this idea, then I just give away one of his posters, And
Ryan's so cool. He's gonna sign all of those.
Yeah.
I know he's gonna do it. So he's so cool. We love Ryan.
Well, these are the books related to the creators. So whoever, yeah.
There actually that is an Asian person on the cover, isn't there? That's like a Buddhist, like a Buddhist
Which one is that?
on Otagawa's.
Oh yeah, it's
Book.
Temujin. You know who Temujin is?
Yeah,
That's Temujin.
Temujin.
Okay, guys, who knows who Temujin is?
Testing the comic book knowledge.
Well,
Iron
this
Man
is more of a
fans.
historical knowledge. It's more of a historical knowledge.
His historical knowledge.
Yeah,
Who is he?
Temujin is a Genghis Khan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
The greatest warrior.
conqueror.
So conqueror. So would you say Alexander the Great or Genghis Khan? Who's greater in terms of?
I really don't know because Genghis Khan. I mean, far as the area wise, he killed it,
Mhm.
and he even penetrated Europe too. So
That's yeah. So we're talking about like expansive, like the military, like you know, Alexander got to India, like the borders of India, right? Or just basically conquered up to Persia, Iran, but Genghis
one of the
from
reasons,
Mongolia to Europe, I would say that's a bigger.
I
That's
mean,
probably a
it's
bigger
area wise. I mean,
area wise.
sheer
Yeah.
size of the land occupied is a Genghis Khan. But what one of the things that why he succeeded with such a small number of basically he he had a small tribe, right, to start with. One of the reasons why he succeeded was because he let people have their own religion, their own tax system, their own government after he conquered them. All they had to do was pay tribute to him, and it was easy for people to just give in to him than surrender to him than you know try to fight him. So, so he did kill viciously, but that was like a poor you know poor set to be made of a example, right?
Yeah.
So, but he was pretty liberal when, hey, you can have your own country, your own
It's your own
tax
tax
system,
system.
your own religion, So
Yeah, we're just gonna rape and pillage you, but you get your own tax system. That's a good point. Yeah.
well, the Kublai Khan, I think is a great grandson, uh, try to conquer Japan because his grandpa conquered all these lands, right? And Japan was only an island that's left for them to conquer, basically. So uh, Kublai Khan tried to, no, Genghis Khan tried it first. Genghis Khan tried first, right? So Genghis Khan tried, and he recruited all these army, huge army, and a lot of Koreans in that army too, by the way. And he sent them over, and the huge wind just wiped them out. Typhoon wiped them out, right? So they couldn't land it. So Kublai Khan, hey, my grandpa couldn't do it. That's the only place he can conquer. So I'm going to go over there and conquer Japan. So he built up same army, and the same typhoon came over, wiped them out before they even landed. Not,
Yeah.
so
Didn't learn from the mistake of his father.
so what you know what that wind is called? That typhoon is called divine wind,
Divine
and
Wind.
yeah, and that is a kamikaze.
Kamikaze. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so uh, Japan had the belief that no country can touch them because of those two events. They had a belief that no country can touch them. Divine wind will always protect them, and that's why they named their pilots kamikaze. But other kind of wind took them out, didn't they? So that horrible as it is.
These stories we create from history. It's crazy. Yeah, Nama has a lot of knowledge on the history of.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's knowledge, but something that you know, you live long enough, you hear something
Yeah,
or read something. Anyway, so what were we?
yeah.
Uh,
We're talking about stuff we're gonna just kind of give away and any other stuff.
oh yeah, the second May 2nd, May 1st is Odegawa, so tomorrow we're gonna have a Ryan Odegawa. He's gonna kick it off like he always does. Uh, so we're gonna kick it off with the Ryan Odegawa. May 2nd, we're gonna have Yoshi,
Lin Yoshi.
Lin
Yes.
Yoshi. Yeah,
Yep. Great artist.
fantastic artist. I've been to her site. Let me see if I can give you guys some little taste of it.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of stuff in comic books right now, and I think she's was the artist on Wonder Woman for a bit.
Hmm.
Incredible artist. We're very fortunate to have her, and just she's just going to talk about her background, and I'm really looking forward to that conversation. There she is. Look at that.
Oops, oops. Shoot. I'm gonna do a different one. Hold on. Oh, I
Oh,
guess
I gotta if I ever run into her at the con again, I gotta get her Psylocke. Did you see that Psylocke?
yeah. Let me
Oh
see if
my
I,
goodness, it was incredible.
let me see if I could do a different one. Entire screen. This is better. Oops, that's me. Lin Yoshi. Oh, there it is. There you go.
There you go.
Wow.
Boom. Boom.
I love that.
There's your
There you
Psylocke.
go. There's your
Oh
son.
yeah. There's your Psylocke right there.
Anyway, I can find her store though, so I don't know what to give out on this day.
Hmm.
She didn't have a store. When I get, you know, before the meeting, maybe I ask her, But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I wish I had some of her books, but I didn't
yeah.
have time to collect her books.
I know for a lot of artists, um, you expect some of the artists to have
Oh,
like
I love this. Huh?
a website and like some kind of online where they're you could take orders or commissions. You'd expect a lot of artists to have
Hey,
that,
Simon.
but not every artist has that. Even the more like established ones, sometimes they don't have a website or something where you can get their work. So maybe she's getting it set up, or who knows. But we should ask her about that. Look at that Tifa, man. Oh, this
Anyway,
is
so I'm
incredible.
really excited to
She's
talk with her.
incredible. She's incredible.
Uh, then who we have next coming?
After that, I think we have Sarah Kuhn and Ariel Jovellanos. They are the writing and uh, the writing and artistic team for Lois Lane, A Girl Taking Over, which is this sort of graphic novel that DC published this month. So they've been busy promoting that book, but they're both going to jump on with us to talk about that book and talk about, again,
Amen.
their careers and um, yeah, just share their thoughts on comic books and being Asian American. I believe Sarah Kuhn is also Asian American. I may be wrong, but I think she is.
Mm.
But even if she isn't, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. We want to promote their work and their books. So, but hopefully they can add some insights and share some thoughts on the month.
Yeah. Of course, we're gonna have collectors come in. Simple Simon say he'll be here.
Simple Simon's going to be in the house.
Yeah, Simple Simon's gonna be here. He's honorary American, by the way.
Yeah, he's our Australian bro.
Um, collector wise, who Sean from Slim say he will be here. Simple Simon, Asian, was it Asian Funk? Asian Funk, right? Asian Funk.
Funk's going to be here. No Good Comics.
Justin, we haven't. I mean, he hasn't given us dates. He's talking about it. Young, talking about it.
Okay.
Let's see. Alex from More Life and Travel. She's half Korean. She's going to come up. Oh, Slipping. Mark from Slipping is going to come.
Mark.
Yeah, NFT guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's Korean. He's let's see, 23 Munch. He's Filipino. 23 Munch is coming. So we got a whole bunch of collectors. We got a bunch of artists. What was it? 10. Was it 10? What's the other gentleman's name?
Oh, yeah, we have Philip Tan coming.
Philip Tan, yeah, Philip Tan.
Yeah, why don't you pop his art up? I'm sure most people are aware of Philip Tan, but if you're not, he's going to be joining us, and he's another incredible Asian American artist.
Comic artist.
Yeah. There he is.
Let's see.
He's got an Instagram. Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean he's done a lot of great stuff for both Marvel and DC, and I think the most recognizable work that people will associate with him is he did a lot of work on Venom.
Mm-hmm.
And Spider-Man. There you go. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's some beauty. All right, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the restroom real quick.
Okay. Hey, since this is Hangout, can I invite people over? Can I drop a link? I just want to drop a link. If you guys want to join us, come on over. Anybody? Just don't get nude. Wow. Yes, sir. We're going to have a Philip Tan come over. Simon. Promote what more? Joe? Hey, Comic Journey. Links below. Hey, Simple Simon. How are you, sir?
I can't be nude. Sorry, I'm going.
Huh?
I can't be nude.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that you were nude. If you don't have pants on, don't get up.
Philip Tan does some really cool Red Hood covers as well. Or he did some.
Okay. So let's see if there's a Red Hood down here.
they're quite old. They'd be a couple of years old now, those Red Hood ones. But he was doing the variants where Red Hood was like shredded with like the biggest jacked arms and things like that. CJ, he's nude. Get him on.
I'm nude.
That's nice.
Yeah, his hands are okay. You could have your hands nude. That's fine. I love that. Oh, that's liquidity, right?
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, wow. He has a very different styles too. Huh. Very Asian, very Japanese looking. Wow. Well, I'm excited about
Very
Philip
good.
10 as well. So,
How did you guys choose the artists that you're getting on? Did you guys
well,
just reach out?
what happened was, me and Otaku, we're gonna go to Emerald City Con, and we're gonna go visit all these artists and talk to them and have them, invite them. And I couldn't go because I got COVID, but Otaku went and he invited all these people. I think he invited like six or eight people, and about 3 or 4 people agreed to come. So, what's that?
Oh, you can hear the flush. Hey, you got to mute. Is he streaming from the toilet or from the
I
bathroom?
don't know.
What's going on?
I said no nude, but no toilet noises either. What is that?
Hey, what's up, Simon?
We
going
heard
on,
your
mate?
toilet noises, man.
Don't say it like that. We just heard the flush. That's all.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah, nature called. Nature called. You can't ignore that call. So we're talking about Philip Tan. And so who else did we have? Oh, yeah. We
I
have.
thought it was coming in June, right?
So we have another really big artist, and unfortunately, we were trying to bring him on in May, but his schedule didn't
Jimmy's
work
here
out.
again.
Yeah,
Was it Art Jam?
but he said he'd be joining us in June. So I guess sort of as another, we could if we were to extend these interviews, we'll have Dustin Wen joining us in June. He's I just had the pleasure of meeting him at Emerald City Comic Con, and he's just been very generous.
What
with
is
his
that?
time.
Comic Journey. Hey, CJ.
Good evening. I didn't listen. I didn't hear any water running while hands were being washed.
I didn't wash my hands. You didn't hear the water
No,
running?
I didn't hear it. We heard that toilet perfectly clear, but we did not hear any running water from his faucet. So
I did wash my hands. So
Yeah, but we also didn't hear the stuff that came before the flush. So
Oh, that's good. I wasn't grunting or making those kinds of noises.
I mean, whatever you were doing, we didn't hear any drop noises.
Wow.
was it number 1 or number 2?
It was a number 2. It was a number 2.
So maybe it was just doing a light tinkle. Maybe there was no noise to be there. It was just like a little drops. Who knows?
So,
CJ comes
how
up for 1
come you're
minute.
not showing your hands, CJ?
What's that?
How come you're not showing your hands?
Because I'm nude.
Oh, your
Oh,
hands
yeah.
not. I mean, your hands nude.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable showing myself off.
It's a quick quack.
Joe, stop it, man.
Yeah.
Besides
Yeah.
that, I'm not Asian, so I don't want to give any misinterpretations to anybody. So I'm,
No,
so
no Asian at all throughout your family history.
no, unfortunately not.
Hmm.
They found African in me, but no Asian.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Wait,
Middle
Philip
Eastern, they
Tan
found.
only has 800. That can't be right. Did you go back to his homepage?
Otaku, does Middle East count?
As Asian? No.
Yeah, they found like 2% Middle Eastern in me, so maybe that counts.
Philip Tennant, what, man?
I saw his homepage. It looked like he only had 800 something followers. That doesn't seem right.
That doesn't seem right.
Last
This
year
is
when
the
you
right
guys
Philip
did
Town.
this, I remember I wasn't invited because I was Australian. Australian Asians didn't count. It was only American Asians.
Well, it says Asian American, but
So
But
can you go to the
we
can you go to the
decided
main
that,
page? This might not be the right Philip Town. I don't want to.
Willie, this might
Yeah.
not be.
Go back to his homepage.
Yeah, go back to his homepage.
It did look like his art.
Yeah, it did look
Oh,
like
okay,
his
I was
art, like the Venom.
Yeah, that's definitely him. I saw some before. I thought I only saw like something 800, but
No,
Oh,
this is 29K,
he's only
yeah.
following. Yeah. Okay, scroll down. Let's get some of his comic book covers.
Let me see if he has.
yeah. So
website.
I was saying while you were gone, he was doing the variants of Red Hood when I was collecting Red Hood. He did some great ones.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Philip Tennant comic book. How about that?
Just right, comic art. Okay.
There you go.
They're not him.
Are you guys gonna have Nakayama on again?
Well, we sent him a message and we haven't heard from him yet.
I think you might have scared him off.
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
I don't know.
May is really one of the worst times to try to get comic book artists because it's like prime comic book circuit season. So
I want to see you be able to do the miracle of all miracles and get Jim Leon.
right,
Well,
it's
that's
gonna
all.
happen.
Well,
Yeah.
Art Germ would be a good one.
Even Archer, yeah. So like
Art Germ's
Archer
pretty
lives
chill,
in
man.
Archer
He's a
lives
pretty
in
one.
Singapore.
Oh, really?
So
Any of this he's on?
he's in your time zone.
Yeah,
No, but if you're
if you
able to get Jim Leon without having to pay him, hey, I'll tip my hat off to you because this guy doesn't go anywhere without getting paid.
Yeah, well,
would
I
you
guess
feel Jim Lee?
Jim Lee.
I have responsibility to get paid.
Yeah, Jim Lee deserves to get paid. I mean, he's.
Oh, I know that.
that.
I know that. It's not only the getting paid; it's the kind of pay he gets. that's hard to do. Like if I knew I could get a Jim Lee to come on like a podcast show or something like that with me, and I had to pay him even $500 to do it, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
$500.
If he wants to pay, he's not like that $500.
He would not do that for maybe $5,000. He'll do it.
That's more like
I
it.
wonder how much he gets to do those like CGC sightings and stuff. Like how much do you think they make?
He gets a flat
Yeah.
fee, and the big artists get a flat fee plus a percentage of every single signature that they
Right. So
So-
like that's got to be in ballpark figures. What do you think what that would be?
Oh, forget about it. I'm sure Jim Lee signs the same amount that like McFarlane would sign. So
Right.
you're talking about
Oh, Jay Lee.
McFarlane is still signing books. I hear he's still signing books.
a couple
Hey,
thousand
that's
signatures easy, right? A couple
Yeah.
thousand easy. I think that's conservative.
Couple thousand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably a very
That's
conservative number.
very conservative. Yeah.
Now, even if it's $10 a piece at 2,000, it's $20,000.
Yeah.
Plus a flat fee.
I paid the gold when he came to Baltimore Con. What was it? I paid 150, right, for 3 signature and a print.
Yeah.
And,
I'm up to believe, CJ. I'm up to believe, of the, let's say the $80 you pay for a signature, right? I'm up to believe probably more than half of that goes to the artist.
That's what I'm saying. I'm being very conservative with the
Yeah.
numbers that I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
there was
CGC probably collects the.
there was the platinum guys who paid like $300. It was $300 some dollars, and then there was gold guys, and there were just lines. I mean, hours of waiting for him to sign all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well, how much does he charge? 150, you said, at the cons?
yeah, that's a gold membership.
What does that mean, gold?
3 signatures.
There was a platinum platinum, gold, and the one signature. I forgot what $60. I think was the one signature. And,
So $60. So you save $30 when you do it with gold, and then how much is the platinum?
I forgot what the price was on platinum, but
So I'm assuming most of the people probably did the gold, right?
there was a huge line for platinum. I'm thinking they even had more people in platinum than gold.
Well, it depends on what it averages per signature. Like you might be better off doing a platinum if it's like 2 people or 3 people.
He was also offering a original art. If you're platinum, he was doing the panel and he was drawing, and he was offering his drawing to the platinum.
Yeah, can you highlight the Batman Todd McFarlane homage cover?
Think of it like this, Worm. Let's say all 4 of us wanted to get a signature from him, and he offered 6 signatures, for example, with the platinum. Why wouldn't we all put our money together and do the platinum, and have one of us go get it signed?
Yep.
And save a lot of money that way.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
That's a smart way to do it.
That's what I would do.
Yep.
I mean, I was going by myself, so
I would have you wait on the line. I wouldn't wait.
Yeah.
But you know, I'd give you the money, and I'd wait. I would wait for you to wait.
I'll never wait in line again, man.
How much do you value the signature though? Because there's some people like $50 a signature. I'm not doing that. I mean, there are people that are like that.
Well, here's the
$50
thing.
ain't bad.
I appreciate Jim Lee a lot as far as an artist and everything, and I think his Mount Rushmore of artists from his time period, not of all time, but as far as his time period, he's definitely in the Mount Rushmore. Him, McFarlane would be another one from that time period. But I decided I would see how much he charges. $100, $150 per signature, whatever I would see, because in New York it's a lot more expensive his signature to get, waiting on my line. I decided instead of doing that, I just bought it on eBay. His signature, I bought a signature of him, his first time doing Superman, actually, and paid $250. So for me, that's how much I value it. I got a comic that's already slabbed, CGC slab. For $250 and a 9.8.
Oh, that
Yeah,
that
I
204.
wanted a
Superman
Jim Lee
204.
signature.
What's that?
Sorry.
For Superman 204? You got
Yeah.
that 198. Wow, that's a good deal actually. Yeah.
So that's how I valued it. I said, oh, you know what? It would cost me at least $30, $40 to grade it. It's going to cost me $100, $150 to go get the signature, and I have no guarantee that it's a 9.8. So let me just do it that way. That's an awesome print.
Love that.
he gave this out too for $150. So
Nice.
with the 3 signature,
Yeah.
That's very cool.
and then he took a photo. He took a picture with you, shaking his hands. So I thought 150 was reasonable.
For 3 signatures, I think it's reasonable. Yeah.
Listen, I never judge and I never criticize how much artists charge. They could charge whatever they want. They're well within the right. If he wanted to charge $1,000 per signature, he's well within his right. Now, whether everybody is willing to pay for that at that point, that's a different story. But it's okay whatever they charge. You know, I think it's fair, especially if you're a guy that has built a reputation and a name like he has.
Yeah.
You know, I guarantee you, if he was charging $1,000 per signature, he's not going to have those lines, but he might have a third of that line paying that much.
Man, imagine how much time you spend with you, though. You know.
Well, you know what? That's another thing. Like like sometimes I'd rather pay a little bit more and have a better experience. Like sometimes they do these experience things where I see with artists where you could like be in the back room with them and they'll talk to you and maybe they'll draw like a little sketch for you or something like that.
You know, maybe that's why the platinum line thing moved slow, because he was talking to a lot of people. He was talking too longer with each one of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he was charging, but any smart person or a decent person, if people are paying a lot of money to have a minute or two with you, the right thing to do is give them a little bit of time.
Oh well, I'll get the friend.
Wasn't Drac just getting like a remark from Zdarsky or something like that? Is that Drac that I saw doing that?
Yeah, he met Zdarsky. I wonder if he got a chance to pitch him the toilet chair or not.
I really value this kind of stuff. I mean, this one of a kind.
Yeah, I think we can agree. Original art trumps like just standard signatures.
Oh, absolutely.
But
that's why I don't understand. Mad Spidey has pretty much given up on collecting original art because he's just buying books. But mate, his original art collection is so much more mind blowing than the comics that he has.
I don't believe that he gave up on it. Like I've had long conversations with
put it on the back seat because obviously it costs a lot of money. But dude, he doesn't like. I understand him chasing keys, right? That's cool if he wants to do that. But he still has a pull list where he buys all this Marvel bullshit. He doesn't even fucking read. Like, so I get it if you're buying for the cover, but he literally just orders the A cover for all these books. I'm like, what's the point of that when you're not reading them? So click your keys and keep getting your art. Because man, when I first brought Spidey into the scene, and he went on the original art hour with Comic Books NYC, because most of the art collectors, they often collect just pages and shit, right? Like pages in the books. Spidey came on and has all these original commissions that he's got, and he's blowing people's minds with that shit.
Well, that's were you on with me the other time when we were all on this live stream, and I was telling him that he's doing disservice to himself by not showing his art off for more, because I think we all want to know about that art. I'm way more interested not only hearing about what art he has, but his perspective on the art and learning a little bit about it, because I have no idea. Like, I don't know how to value art. I don't know how much to pay for a page. I don't know how to do any of that, because like it's something that's nobody really talks about that much. He could talk about it.
I think when he first came onto the scene, like he showed a lot of art on my channel. He showed almost his whole collection on the Comic Books NYC stream. Like he's got about four or five big folders full of that stuff, and each piece is like he's got big names in there. Like I think he's got like a lot. He's got like big names.
Well, the thing is, a lot of time has lapsed since then, and not only did a lot of time lapse since then, he didn't do a lot of that on his own channel. He did on other people's channel.
He does that artist series. The only thing is, when he first started that series, he'd have today I'm going to talk about this artist, and he'd have like 3 or 4 pieces from that artist. Now he's like, today I'm going to talk about this artist, and then he only has 1 piece to show from that artist. So
I think he could return to that and like go into like each individual artist, or not only that, styles. He could start talking about different styles of artwork.
Who were some of the artists that were featured?
Oh, he has so much stuff. So many artists.
Yeah.
I'll bring up his playlist quickly. I'll just go through the. Oh, All right, Matt Spy. Let's have a look at his playlist.
Don't tell me he has a bunch of like a portfolio of Peach Momoko art. I will.
No per se. So no, a lot of these aren't huge. It's like a lot of these are just Aussie artists. David Yarden, Freddie Williams, Jeffrey Cruz, Ken Lashley, Brad
Nice.
Walker,
Nice.
Paulo Sakira,
You
Marcelo
could share it if you
Mueller.
want. Simple, Simon.
Sorry.
You can share it if you want.
Hang on. It'll take me 2 seconds to read these. Marcelo Mueller, Al Borionuvo, Mike Crome, he's a good artist. He does a lot of Dynamite stuff. Arthur Adams.
Nice.
I'm just skipping through them now. Nicholas Scott. But he's got some of the bigger names. He hasn't. Delotto. He's got.
Mm-hmm.
Selma Sema.
So a lot of these artists come to
wow.
Australia. They come
No,
up-
so a lot of them he would contact the artist and then
I see.
basically pick it up when they did come to Australia. Sometimes they were sent like I can't remember if it was the Delotto one. He got this crazy one where some of these commissions took 3 to 4 years to get to him,
Wow.
and he has to keep chasing him up because he's paid him thousands of dollars. I can't remember if it was Delotto, but
Wow, how can you afford all those things?
it took like 4 years, and then when they finally sent it, they sent all this extra stuff. Like they sent the piece that he wanted, and they sent like an extra, another piece for free, and all this other stuff. And it was mind blowing. Some of the stuff that he had.
Wow.
That's why he's not like buying a piece every day now. They're expensive pieces. The ones that you buy.
And he goes through like an agent who, there's those companies that like Kirby Art and all that. He has an agent who basically will contact him and say, hey, this piece has come up. Are you interested? So he'll buy pieces like that. But once he gets to know the artist, he'll actually say, this is what I want. And the artist will do it. And some of the stuff he's got this Craven piece, which is just mind blowing.
Wow.
Where am I? You gonna go after any commissions or art pieces or signatures while you're at HeroesCon?
I'm gonna get signature. I don't know if I'm gonna go for an art or not.
I have a 10-minute rule. If I have to wait for more than 10 minutes, I'm not waiting. But if it's less than 10 minutes in line, I'll go get the signature. And I'm gonna hunt for original art pages. I wanna get original comic art pages. See, I want to start my collection.
From who?
Yeah, Dustin Wynn had his original comic book art pages. They were like thousands of dollars, but when I looked at it, I was like, oh my god, I'd love to have that.
I'm not gonna be specific from who I get them, like which artist. I just have to be something I connect with, and I'm not ready to start with more than a couple $100. So I'm gonna go with like lower priced pages to start with, to see like how into it I get and like how I could store it or display it, and then I'll take it from there.
Yeah.
So I've got some art commission now done, but I go for just like not well-known artists, just artists that you see on Instagram. You're like, their art's pretty good, and then you hit them up, and the prices are affordable. So, like, I've got 2 pieces from this guy from Brazil called Junior Maya, and I can't remember how much, but they maybe cost me like $250, $300. And then the ones I got from Neil McGregor, he's really talented, and his were about only $220, $240. They were sketch covers of those ones, but I've got like big A3 ones from that Brazilian dude.
Getting nasty here.
Yeah, I'm actually looking for more original pages from like actual published books, like that kind of art I'm looking for, rather than
I'd like to get a
commission
cover.
either.
Like I'd like to
that'd
get
be
a
great.
cover, like original. That'd be good, but that'd be worth more. Right? I mean, that'd be
Like
cost
a
more.
sketch
Right?
cover.
I would love to have Ryan's Star Wars original page.
Who?
Oh yeah, that's a great
Star
point.
Wars.
Yeah, Ryan showed that off the other time, didn't he?
Yeah. Ryan he worked on Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to have his original page. He has it. He said, I'm not selling it. I'm like,
I'm
dude.
pretty sure Carvey from Comic Books NYC has an original page from Star Wars as well, because he's like a massive Star Wars guy.
Yeah, then I could really say I'm a hashtag Star Wars guy. If I have an original page with Star Wars.
So you know, I'm going after a Peach Momoko commission for in September.
Hmm.
So, what would be more exciting to you, Worm? To have somebody do a commission artwork, or to have Gene Simmons come and paint your face?
Or
I
Gene Simmons
personally-
come and lick your face.
Oh yeah.
I personally don't like Jim Simmons.
Yeah, I'm a Paul
I
Stanley
don't like
guy.
his personality.
Nah,
I
child.
don't like-
But you're a Kiss guy, aren't you?
yeah, I am a Kiss fan, but I don't like Jim Simmons.
All right. So, how about Freely? If Freely comes and paints your face,
I mean, I like rest of them fine, but yeah, man.
what would you cherish more? An actual art piece from or
that's-
them to actually come and physically paint your face?
That's a really toughie, man. But I don't want to get my face painted, so that's I mean.
Or just meeting. I think he means like meeting them. And
Paul Stanley just came
Yeah,
and
if I
thrust
get
it in your
to
face.
finish- I mean, if they come and paint my face, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, like
that is
it's
pretty
gonna take at least 10-15 minutes to paint your face, and so like they'll while they do that, you get to talk
If
to
I
them.
meet the artist, will they give me 10-15 minutes also?
Listen, yeah, you get the face painting time. That's what you get out of them.
ATM Nudie.
It's a straightforward thing. You get face painting time, or you get a commission from one of your favorite artists. It's one or the other.
That's toughy.
Because one's a memory.
Yeah, one's
Just
a
get a
memory.
commission from your favorite artist. Just get them to draw Kiss licking your face.
Could you imagine?
Good
I
night,
think,
Jimmy.
I think he already has that. I think Naman Young already has that piece.
What?
Kiss licking the whole band licking your face.
I bet you David Finch would do an awesome piece like that.
Yeah, David Finch is amazing.
I could see his art style doing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I got a book signed by David Finch and his wife.
And
And his wife. Why
She
his
was
wife?
just there. She was just there.
I
And,
think she does art as well, maybe. Lee
Oh,
from White
okay,
Comics
cool.
gave it to me.
cool.
It was,
I hope she does art. Like I would be so annoyed if like some artist's like wife or like mom signed the book to her. Like the fuck?
dude, you know
Like,
who?
I don't want
Do you know
you.
Carla Cohen? Do you know Carla Cohen, CJ?
Yeah.
She's like married to Perillo. So
Is-
you can
is she
imagine the
really?
fucking. Yeah,
Oh,
they're
that's
married. That's imagine the art going on in that house.
How awesome would it be if you get Peril making a piece with her making the background?
Or like I've got that book that's like Dave Stevens and Adam Hughes on the same cover. Where like
I draw my own kiss, guys.
that's
Nice.
pretty cool. That's
That's
pretty
cool.
cool.
There's no licking action though. You're disappointing Simon.
There's a guy right there in the back, and
Was he licking his ass? What is he doing in the back?
their persona.
How did you get the those lines are pretty straight on the in the background, the face paint in the background.
I use rulers on those.
Okay. That's pretty good, man.
Well, that's
man,
awesome.
that's sick.
Yeah, I like that better.
That's awesome.
How much you sell those for?
Consider you don't like Gene Simmons, you drew him pretty well.
I
Yeah.
like his persona.
There's the
I
lick.
don't like his personality.
Yeah, he's a bit of a tool.
Nice.
Wow.
I like the backgrounds you're putting in there.
Show us
I
Paul
don't
Stan.
like
Look at that.
I messed up on his thumb. That thing sticks out like a sore thumb.
His thumb is sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Man, they're really good, dude.
I think I like that last piece the best.
You like the sore thumb one?
Yeah, I can't tell the sore thumb from the distance I'm looking at, but I like that one the best. I just like the way, like the positioning.
Yeah, those are all really nice.
I like the way outline that you used around the
By the
legs.
way, somebody else has the origin. These are just prints.
It is.
One of my subscribers. So
Oh, you actually made prints. That's actually smart. I should have done that. Like I gave some pieces away that I really liked, and I made the mistake of not making a scan of it or copy of it.
so I have a digital copy of it before I give it to him.
You should do more sketch covers, no man. Send me one.
Yeah.
You did that, didn't you? Do that Star Wars sketch cover, and it was like in Australia or some shit.
No, that wasn't somebody else. That was
Someone else did that for you. Okay.
But I was gonna send you one with the U.S. Red Hood and what's your girlfriend as a what was her character? I forgot. Spidey. What?
Spider Gwen.
Yeah, Spider Gwen.
Kelly, I'm gonna have to commission you for.
There.
I'm gonna have to commission you for some work.
Hmm?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited you guys are going to be doing it this month. It's going to give us all a break from freaking out to make streaming content. You know?
What now?
I'm saying I'm excited that you guys are going to do this month because it's going to give us a break from having to make streaming content. We're going to have your channel to come and watch.
Nice. Yeah, looking forward to this. This should be a fun month. So
Yeah,
You know,
this is our Christmas. This May is our Christmas, man. It's
And I remember last year, I was away for a couple of months last year, and when I started coming back again, it was towards the end of your interviews of this like that you were doing last year. I'm like, what the hell is the warm up to? I didn't know, like I didn't realize what was going on because I was away from YouTube for a while.
So you didn't watch David Nakayama?
I watched it on I watched that on a rewind.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Dave Nakayama is if he gets on, we have to accommodate his Hawaiian time. So it's really eyeball time. Like,
you know, I think we'll hear from him. We'll hear from him at some point. I would reach out to him again, because I know he has so many Instagram messages. He probably.
We're not. You could tell if somebody looked at your message on Instagram, he still hasn't looked at it.
Yeah, he still hasn't looked at it. I would just resend it and see if he responds.
I try to find it. I think I sent him an email. I'll send him an email. But what happened to Otaku?
Speaking of Instagram, Worm, thank you for sending me that link. It actually cleared everything up to me with the Heritage March.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, because I was curious. Like I think you were probably thinking I was like giving you shit. I was actually really serious.
No, I appreciate the question. So,
well, what happened to Otaku? We lost him.
He looks like he went to get something. He didn't want the sound to come through.
Well, we want to hear the toilet. What the hell? I think he's embarrassed that we called him out on not washing his hands.
Not washing his hands.
He definitely didn't wash his hands. Now he's got old pee-pee all over his microphone and his keyboard and everything.
Why do you imagine all that stuff? Why you imagine all that stuff?
Because it's true.
I'm gonna give me a beard. Hold on, guys.
He went in pee-peed and then he went and rubbed his hands all over the microphone and the keyboard and everything. And now he's got pee-pee keyboard. Simon knows I'm right. He just doesn't want to put it. Well, maybe he's doing poo-poo now. You know I'm right. You know I'm right.
As soon as CJ came on, that's when the Pete talk started.
He definitely didn't. He definitely 100% didn't wash his hands. Guaranteed. Now we're gonna ask him if he wiped.
If you gotta take a crap, you gotta wash your hands. I mean, if you pee, it just depends how dirty you.
Well, that's the thing. Unless he's good, he's like one of these wilderness men that thinks that pee disinfects everything. You think that's what he's thinking?
What?
Do you think pee disinfects everything?
If you get stung by something, you pee on your
jellyfish. Apparently, that's not true.
That's not true.
But I'm pretty sure people still do it because history
'Cause they
tells
like
us
it.
that it's street food. So
I think it's just I just did like peeing on
Hashtag
themselves.
pea guy.
Why are you talking about peeing all of a sudden, dude?
Well, because the
Wait,
taco went to
wait,
go
wait.
poo poo now.
As
Yeah,
soon
you
as
know,
CJ
it's-
came on, we were talking about pee. What are you drinking now, man? I wish I had a beer.
This is not the Insomniac Theater. That's why I got to keep my jokes to PG rated jokes, to PP and poo poo jokes.
Today I'm taking in place of Insomniac Theater.
Well, you're on now. It's 12:30.
Yeah, okay.
Is that on tonight, CJ?
I don't think so. The Worm's on right now, so this is pretty
will be
much
my
Insomniac there.
So,
So I took the whole of
I'm just
April.
waiting for CJ.
I put a lost episode on yesterday, so
Yeah, when was that last episode from?
that was a few months ago.
A lost
I don't-
episode.
They had Bueller on it. They had Dracula on there.
Actually, I saw the thumbnail for that. I think.
You
This
know,
would be my.
I sped it up a little bit for everybody just to give them a little bit of relief if they actually wanted to watch it. I had to cut out a lot of stuff because that's the reason why it got blocked
Why
by
you
YouTube.
faithful?
I don't know. Honestly, I think there was a little bit of music, which I don't know why they blocked it. They shouldn't have blocked it. You should copyright it.
You cut out your face.
What are you talking about?
You put something over your face.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You were showing face at the time.
Because if you're not on the live, you get to miss things. That's why.
Oh, I see. So
So if you want to see things and like things that can happen, you have to watch them during the live. Otherwise, if you're going to catch an edited video after, you're not going to catch everything that's on the live.
So you're punishing those people with
Absolutely.
your true face, huh?
Absolutely. That's my way of doing membership drives.
I see.
I don't charge anybody for memberships, but my form of membership is if you're there during the live, you get to see it. If you're not, it's gone forever.
Oh, do you
Hey,
delete the
suggestion
video?
on how to open this? I don't
With
know
the
how to
bottle
open it.
opener.
Huh?
The bottle opener.
What's-
I couldn't
What is
find the
it?
stupid bottle opener.
Use your teeth.
No. Not
You
a
Just
should
big-
be able to
bite
just
the
what do
top
you-
off.
chop.
Worms have razor sharp teeth. Dude, give it a judo chop.
Use your
What?
nunchucks now, man. Use the nunchucks.
Hey,
So,
Otaku, did you poop?
My
Did you
new
pee or
on
poop?
your channel.
So
You know that time, right?
I have
That's in the intro.
I have IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, and
Hey,
so
Lauren.
I get set off. I can get set off very easily. Like
You weren't
so
lying,
many-
CJ.
so many different foods can set me off, and I'm having some issues right now, stomach issues. But it's
I
all
didn't
good.
hear. I didn't hear a faucet running this time either.
There's moisture on my hands. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah, what kind of moisture?
The soap.
I didn't ask you about your moisture. So now you got pee-pee and poo-poo all over your keyboard and microphone. What the fuck, man?
Hey, I don't know if you've ever been to like Asia, but Asian people are really hygienic. It's OCD hygienic.
Listen, I have not been to Asia. However, I will say this: I've been to Asian people's homes, and I've been to some Asian people's homes that were very, very clean, and I've been to other ones that have been the filthiest fuckers on earth. So, I don't
So-
stereotype. I
Okay.
take each
Let me
individual.
just tell you about Japanese toilet technology. They've got something called an automated bidet.
A Toto.
This is- well, it's not. Toto is a brand of toilet manufacturer. This is actually across the board. It's a technology
I s-
that's widely used.
Yeah,
I
I'm
saw a
familiar.
video.
Very familiar.
Have you ever
I
used
saw a
one?
video.
Though?
I have.
Okay, and what was your experience with it?
It was very
you love it?
refreshing.
Yeah, it's like way cleaner than just
Um,
wiping your ass with
but
toilet paper.
but I'm accustomed to that because
So you've actually probably got ass residue, like doo doo on your ass right now, whereas Japanese people don't. Is
no,
my
actually,
point? Is my
that's not
point.
true because I use baby wipes
You're not supposed to flush those.
and I don't flush them. I throw them away.
Oh, okay.
You know that
I saw I saw a I saw a video of like one of those Japanese toilets, and the person was shooting the water out like without sitting on it, and I was like, that water squirts pretty hard. That'd be quite a shock for someone who's never. Did you just?
It
Is
would.
that a bento box?
well, us Europeans, we're a little familiar with that because we're accustomed to having bidets in bathrooms as well.
Yeah, that's the way to go. It's old school, but you want to wash your ass, not just wipe it.
Cheers,
Or,
guys.
Yeah, not just
or you
smear
could
it
be
into your ass crack.
cheers, Anarman.
Right.
Or you could be like the Arabs. The Arabs have like a little bucket next to them, and they like you splash water on their ass after they're done.
Yeah, that's better than I guess
That's worse.
the conventional. You just have to have a bucket of water with you all the time.
Yeah, I got to experience a lot of this stuff when because I sell
Yeah,
like
it's not on my
I sell
comment.
homes, so I've been into a lot of people's homes and like see like everybody's customs and everything.
Yeah.
So like the first time I saw like one of those like little pitchers and bowls next to the toilet, I'm like, what the hell are they doing over here? They eating while they're shitting? I didn't know what they were doing with that. It took me
Well, pretty
it
much
took me a
like
little.
every modern home in at least I'm only speaking from Korea and Japan, my experience in Korea and Japan, but every modern home built in Korea and Japan now has your quote unquote Toto toilet, which is an automated jet. When you press a button, a jet squirts out. For women, it's aimed toward the the feminine parts, and for number two, it's aimed for the ass. And so you get just this, um, you know, a jet of water washing your. It's like literally doing this, like a chiseling action to get all the grime off. And then once it stops, you take a dry piece of toilet paper and you just wipe the wetness away, and you're done. And you're much cleaner than the stuff that goes on here in the U.S. So
Do you have a toilet at your house?
it's too expensive to install, unfortunately. So no,
So you have no excuse for not washing your hands.
I did wash my hands.
I don't believe you.
Well, it's your word against mine, but
I
am very clean.
It's
I'm very clean.
It's an entire panel that didn't hear any faucet running. So I think we have to go by the facts. We didn't hear any water running. So you got poo-poo keyboard.
Yeah. Okay.
I gotta run, guys. If you guys are on late, I might be back. I just gotta get some stuff done.
Simon.
Hey,
Have
Simon,
fun.
before you go, what time?
I sent a message. You guys were very confusing. So on that day, I can't do it any later, but I can maybe do a later date
Okay.
when I come. Just because on Wednesdays, that's my day I go do all my shit. It's like my only day off during the week. So I have to do it early so I can then go do all my stuff.
Well,
So you go do some shit too now, Simon?
for you,
No, that kind of shit.
Well, how about this time slot on like a Saturday? Because we could do that.
Yeah, the problem is my roster's I have a 3-week rotating roster, so every day that I had free on a weekend, you guys already have a guest on. So, but later in the month, I think just check. I sent you I think the 21st in the US. I might have that day off, but I got to confirm still. So
Okay. Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
One way or the other,
If
so.
not May, we'll do it whenever. We'd love to just.
I'll just gate crash one of the other ones.
Yeah.
All right. Have fun, guys. I might be back later if you're still on anyway. So yeah.
Take it easy.
Oh, Simon, I do have a request. I think Otaku is going to be gone for few. How many days?
I'm going to be gone. I'm going to Hawaii from the 11th through the 15th.
Okay. Can you call host that time if the time is right, Simon?
Can I what?
Can you co-host with
Co-host?
me?
What shows have you got on those days? Hang on, you sent me a list of your dates. Because the thing is, I'm working most days. It's like, so
I don't know who's gonna be in, but
I've
because
had
right
all
now
of
I'm asking
April.
a whole bunch of different people.
I've had all of April off work, so I've been on more streams this last month than I have for the last 2 years.
Okay.
But today I go back to work tomorrow, so so you've got 11th, which will be the 12th year, and the 19th, which will be the 20th. Well, I can probably co-host on the one you've got on the 19th, because that'll be the 20th year, which I've got the day off. Oh wait, but then you're back by then, so
Yeah, I'm back by then. So
yeah. Well, anyway, we'll work something out.
yeah, unless you want to do it at some.
I'll do it by myself. If not, then
Yeah, it depends on the time.
Whatever.
Actually, on that 11th, I might be. Actually, no, I'm working. Yeah, no, I'm working. So, whatever, man. We'll work it out.
we'll work it out. All right.
All right.
Thanks,
Have
man.
fun. I might see you guys later.
Okay.
Take it easy, Simon. Hopefully you wipe
Oh, I'll wipe twice.
and wash your hands.
All right.
CJ is unbearable, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
Listen, I'm trying to promote good hygiene. That's all.
yeah, you should. People should be clean.
You don't want poo-poo residue and pee-pee residue all over your keyboard and microphone and all that stuff. Even if it's your own excrement, you don't want that. You know.
You don't want that. You don't.
A lot of people will say, "Well, it's mine, and so it's okay." No, it's not okay because
Oh, you never cheated before? You never cheated?
you can affect yourself.
Have you
No.
ever cheated?
No, because I'm too paranoid of germs. So
It's dirty. Yeah.
Are you a germaphobe?
You don't want to.
I am. I actually am a germaphobe.
You know when, like, we make sure our son understands it whenever he comes back from going outside, being outside, he has to wash his hands, and that's something we instill in him.
Otaku was married to a Japanese lady.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think the Japanese are even more hygienic than the Koreans are.
Once again, not everybody. Not everybody's
Yeah.
created equal.
I know, but
I'm telling you, like once you go into people's houses one by one, you start to realize who's clean and who's like disgusting.
Yeah.
You
know?
Well, I think also if you watch people die from like bacterial, like an entire generation of people die from bacterial infection or viral infection, and understand like it's because people weren't being hygienic. That instills, I think, a cultural value of the importance of it. So
It
it's not
scares the
just
shit out of you.
you're saying like don't generalize, right? But if you have a cultural experience like that, like the pandemic, right? You learn from it or you don't. And I'm just saying, like Asian people, they have that experience where they've watched people die from disease.
Like Asian people don't care about they will gladly wear a mask.
Not all Asian people.
I did a little I did a little video where when there was a pandemic, there was
I would just recommend you go to Asia first, CJ, before you like question like Asian people telling you, like most people would gladly wear a mask, right? In Asian society,
one of my very best friends in the world is Korean.
I'm talking about Asian people, like those people.
What does that have to do with it?
Remember when people were waiting for the paper towels at like a Sam's Club?
Yeah.
There was like miles and miles of lines just to buy paper towels.
Are you saying the Asian cultures what created those lines and caused that panic?
In Korea, you see that same line? They're waiting for masks because they were giving away free masks at this.
Yeah, I know that. I know that, but I'm just saying because Asia is a large country, and there's a lot of different countries that are part of it. Well, and not all cultures are look at it the same way.
I'm talking about
Korea. Yeah. I mean,
I'm not familiar with.
You don't want to generalize and put Asian people into a bucket that they're all the same. But when it comes to like masking, when it comes to like hygiene and stuff, it's across the board. It's just a cultural, educational understanding. You can make that kind of generalization, right? You can make those kinds of broad
Like a
cultural
question when I was
generalizations.
kid. This is like back in when I was like back in '70s. One of the things that one of the things that my mom made me do whenever I got cold was to have a mask on, and I had to go to school even though I had a cold. Right? When I came to the United States, their solution was, "Hey, you're sick, go home." that that was America's solution. My mom's solution was put a mask on. Here's your napkin. I mean the
See, we didn't have that in our culture as far as the masks are concerned. However, my mom would freaking bathe us in freaking rubbing alcohol or vinegar. That'd be like that'd be our solution as far as like killing everything. Like everything was like, all right, you're gonna have to disinfect everything like immediately. Like my hands were like freaking crackling half the time because like I would either use lemons on my hands and like
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
Okay, can we just clear up something? COVID was an airborne virus, so it's not washing your hands going to maybe have a little effect, but it's not going to protect you, right?
Yeah, I mean the COVID thing is new. I mean I'm talking about it
Yeah,
historically.
yeah. But I mean, like there was a resistance to masking in a lot of countries, and
You know, in
the
Asia, you
United
had
States
the bird
included.
flu, you had SARS going on years ago that, like, you know, got people into the mask culture well before COVID hit us.
Yeah, air quality too. The air quality is bad.
You want to hear the funny thing is, I would, I would, I would walk down the city in Manhattan every so often. Like we'd see like it was not as rare as you think. Like every like 10th person that was either Chinese, Korean, they'd be wearing a mask. We're walking publicly, and we'd be like looking at them. I'm like, what the hell? Like, why are they wearing a mask? Now I'm looking at. I'm like, I wish I was that person wearing the mask all the time, especially when going into the subways and all that stuff.
Yeah, going to subways and stuff. I mean, if you're being germaphobe, wearing a mask is a natural
Well,
thing.
well, 10 years ago, like it was very uncommon. It was like it was oddity here in you know in New York, you know, but not anymore.
I mean, we don't go. "Oh, I can breathe. I cannot breathe because we have mask on." It's like, come on,
Yeah.
come on. You can breathe with the mask on.
Yeah, really, like the masking. This is pre-COVID. I'm talking about like when I was living in Korea. I didn't ever mask up in Korea, but I know a lot of. I would say about like 3% of people you'd see on the subway. About out of every 100 people, you probably saw 3 or 4 people masking, and they were doing it specifically not to get
Yeah, Joe, we're
influenza.
talking about Asia, not America. Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about Asia. You'd see them mask up every. I had coworkers again. About 3-4% of people in Asia you saw constantly were masked. One because of the air quality. Two because they didn't want to get influenza or something. They didn't want to get themselves sick.
Yeah,
See, I always thought it was because of the air quality. Like that was my number one thought. Like I thought people were wearing them because of the air quality. Because
also we're very overpopulated. For land mass.
Yeah.
So we have to be very hygienic to keep things from spreading.
In Japan, it's a little higher, especially around flu season, when it starts to get cold in the fall, and throughout most of the winter, you have a large portion of the population masking up because they know that's the time.
Let me clarify something.
Taco, you're not
it's a virtue. It's not just a necessary thing, because, like I said, Korea, Japan, we are very populated country.
Taco, you're Korean though, right?
I'm Korean, yes.
Yeah.
So now that your wife's not around, what do you like better? You like Korea or Japan?
Well, I mean, I'm Korean, so I prefer my own culture to
No,
Japan.
I'm talking about like going to visit the country, like not culture, like where you like if you were going to go there as a visitor, what would you like better?
Korea, Korea.
All right, that's all I wanted to hear. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
don't let the woman tell her her place is better ever.
Well, the thing is, I like Korea, but Japanese is more exotic to me. How's that?
Is it?
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah. I think
Is it?
anything outside your culture is considered exotic, right?
Yeah.
Well, for me, anything going into Asia would be very exotic to me. The furthest I have ever gone uh, is Hawaii. So that's the furthest I've gone towards that direction.
That's a
So
free Asian over
Okay.
there.
Well, yeah, Hawaii's very Asian. When did you go to Hawaii? Because Hawaii's changed a lot in the past decade.
2005.
Yeah, free
Okay.
Asian. Yeah,
Okay.
free Asian.
Yeah, it's changed a lot since then. So
Super, super Japanese influence.
yeah, yeah,
Super, super Japan. Like very, like everywhere I was going, there was elements of Japan
yeah.
everywhere I
Well,
went.
it's more pronounced now. I think there's been a
Hello,
huge
psychedelic comics.
influx of native
And
Japanese.
I will say I had some of the freshest and best sushi there that I've ever had.
It's I think Hawaii right now, in terms of like Tokyo, like cuisine, it rivals Tokyo in terms of authenticity. Like you can get
Even
like
Korean food. Even Korean food.
yeah, I'm in Korean food. Like you can get pretty much
I had
anything in
some really good
Hawaii.
experiences when it came to like when it came to eating especially Japanese food. I had some really good experience. Listen, we have some good Korean places here in New York, so um, like that didn't surprise me that much. Like I've gone to Korean barbecue and stuff like that often here. Some places are really, really good. Some places are like, yeah.
You went
Um,
to Korean restaurants in LA.
I've never been to LA. I've only been there and layover. I never stayed for more than
The
3 hours in California.
best Korean food was in LA,
Mm.
but I don't know. I think Hawaii probably caught up with LA.
I gotta check. I mean, that it would make more sense for LA to have better stuff than New York would. It would make a lot more sense. It just I would think there's a larger population there than here.
Yeah.
Even though we
Well,
have a huge population here, but it would make more sense.
do you have like connections in Greece? Do you know what was going on in Greece during the pandemic?
Oh yeah, they were like freaking panicking out of their minds.
Were
You know?
they opposed to masking, like mask
No,
mandates?
no, they had severe lockdowns. The only people that had a big problem was the extreme religious people
Mm.
that like see the lockdowns that coincided with a lot of our major holidays. And like they were telling us we can't go to church, we can't do this. A lot of people were very upset like during that time and like revolting in their own ways by like having underground church ceremonies and stuff like that were busted by the government and like there was stuff like that. But I want to say like maybe a small sliver of the population was like that. For the
Yeah.
most part, here's the thing: Greece has turned into a socialist government. So they've been brainwashed to obey whatever the government says, no matter what. So it was easier for them to comply. They just scared. Basically, they told everybody if you don't wear a mask, you're gonna
You're
die.
gonna die. That's a good
A-
motivation.
And basically, everybody followed suit. They're like, "Oh, yeah, I don't want to die. It's okay, so I'm gonna wear a mask."
Oh, I was going to clarify something. When I say Koreans are more, I mean, they are more accepting of masks or more hygienic. It's not because they are more virtuous. It's because it's necessary within that population. It's
Oh,
just
I definitely understand that. I just thought historically, the mask wasn't meant for more. It was meant more for the atmosphere than the actual like
well,
disease
it
control.
was the atmosphere. It was because you're close proximity to everybody else. Like I
I thought
said,
it was because I thought it was
like
because
when
of
I was a
smog.
kid, my mom strictly believed that I have to go to school. right? And she put mask on. That's back in '70s, right? She put mask on me and say, "Go to school. You're not going to miss the school." In the United States, I went to school. I coughed, and the lady said, "You got cold. Go home." That was the solution.
So
In
what was the solution if you coughed when you were in school in Korea?
you had a mask on.
You know what they did in Japan?
What did
They literally put these plastic separators around individual desks in Korea too.
Yeah,
They did that so the kids could go back to school. This was like what I think when we were still in lockdown, kids are going back to school in these like basically bubbles, like they were going to school. In these
Actually,
like
I wish Simon was still on right now. Now that we're having this conversation, because Australia was the most backward when it came to uh, control over lockdowns and quarantines. You saw how many times they locked them down, and for
yeah
very long periods of time.
yeah,
yeah.
but they had very low cases of spread.
New Zealand right had the least amount of like
That might be
COVID.
true, but they also like basically crippled their entire like
Economy,
infrastructure by
yeah,
doing that.
economy, yeah.
Yeah,
There has to be some kind of balance to some extent. Could you imagine big cities like listen here in New York? They did a lot of things like they crippled us in a lot of different ways because
New,
they refused to comply the correct way,
yeah,
and
New York had the biggest. I think had some of the largest death tolls per capita
and
in
that
the
had to do a
world.
lot. Like I'm not going to get into politics, but a lot of that had to do with political wars between the politicians at the time. Like we had facilities that were given to us by the federal government that the governor here refused to let people use just because they came from Trump. Get past it. Like if you don't like each other politically, that's good for you. But people are dying right now.
I also gotta say, I mean, I've been to New York City. I've ridden the subway system there. It's one of the like it's. I wouldn't want to touch anything on the New York subway, like the
It,
turnstiles or anything on there, because it's so.
it's
You
an
got rats
infestation.
everywhere. Yeah, you got rats everywhere. You got urine and feces everywhere. It's one of the worst places to,
It's
regardless if
going
there's a
back to that again.
pandemic.
For about a decade, it had cleaned up a lot, and it's gone back to that again over the past decade as again, because now they're allowing homeless people to go and shit on the in the subway things. They're allowing people to openly do things.
Yeah,
Before at least for like a brief decade, we had a little bit of control over that. Like the
yeah,
police would go and like, oh, you can't do that. They would arrest the person or like get rid of them
yeah.
or whatever the case is. Now they're like,
I'm just saying, if you got a guy like shitting on the subway platform, he's
you
going to
can't
be
do
on
a thing to him.
he's not going to cover his cough, right, on the train,
Yeah, but here's the
right?
thing: they don't restrict that. Like right now, you have somebody that does that. The logical thing is if a police officer sees somebody doing that, they're either going to escort them out of there or arrest them or do something, right? There's no penalty now for like you're not allowed to do anything. Like the police aren't allowed to do anything to these people right now.
Yeah,
They just let them be.
yeah. I
Either
just think
that or
if
they
you've got a
choose to.
metropolitan area where you're just in close contact with a lot of people, and that's this. I'm just regardless of the politics. If you're talking about just culture, like people in the city
It's gross.
doing responsible things, right? You probably had none of that in New York City, and a lot of vulnerable people got sick and died, and so it hopefully it's a learning experience for New York City. I don't think they should be proud of their COVID numbers,
No,
but
they shouldn't.
they
hey
They
shouldn't.
shouldn't.
Brandon,
But it's
how are
something to
you?
keep in mind because pandemics are going to continue to happen, right? It's how you respond and learn from it. If you haven't learned from anything, you're bound to repeat history. And I bet you could check New York City's 29 Spanish pandemic numbers. I bet they're pretty bad that during that at that time too. So hopefully,
Oh, New York City was way worse back then.
yeah, it was probably the epicenter, right, of that pandemic. So
I don't know if it was worse than like London or something, because London's notorious for the historically of having a lot of stuff like that going on. But
Joe.
it's pretty bad. I could tell you
Brandon,
that.
you have a topic suggestion for comics?
let's talk comics. Let's talk comics.
Have you noticed how many comic books have included some type of pandemic ever since the pandemic?
It's been
hit us?
it's been a strong. I've noticed it in quite a few. It's a strong topic. I think you're going to see it more, though. You're going to see it more.
How many storylines, and how long do you think they're going to milk that until like it becomes like too much for people?
It's already too much, isn't it?
I think so, but apparently they're still doing it.
I think it just makes sense for if it's on top of mind. It makes sense, and I think it's a good reflection of, like, if you go back as a historian and you look at like what the comics were like in the '60s, you're probably going to deal with a lot of. Like,
I find that interesting. Like I have a Superman issue 300, right? And the storyline in there is like it's an alternate story of a Superman origin story, and storyline in there is like, what if the Superman came to planet Earth in 1980 or 1979, whatever, and so you got these people detected a UFO basically, and you got Russian and United States. Back then they were called CCP, right? Soviet Union and United States competing to recover this ship that just crash landed in ocean. And so, oh yeah, United States got it, and so it was a sort of like a little reflection of the, history at the time, how we were in Cold War at the time, So that comic book reveals the Cold War happening in this, So it's a sort of record keeping.
Yeah, it is. I think it makes sense. People, if it's top of mind and people want to write about it and do it, that's great. But yeah, at some point it's going to fade out, right?
We got tired of
consistently.
We got tired of a Cold War, right? We got tired of it.
Yeah. I think we've had endless stories of raging pandemics or like viruses spreading throughout and stuff like that. I feel like we need a little bit of break from those type of storylines.
Yeah.
Let's go into make believe a little bit now. Let's pretend like things like aliens are coming. That way, it gives us a little bit of relief. I just feel like it was too real for the past 3-4 years.
We have
I want my fiction to be fiction now.
I think we have about at least 6 artists coming to interview us, right?
Yep.
At least 6.
6 scheduled.
Brian, Yoshi, the couple,
Philip Tan,
Phil Tan, Greg LaRoque, John Boy Myers, 6.
7. So 7.
Are you gonna be able to get Peach Momoko?
I
we'll
wish.
try.
That'd be awesome if you guys could get Peach Momoko and do the interview from under a table, like how she was over in the New York Comic Con.
Were you there for that? Were you there for that?
Yeah, I was there.
So what was it like? I mean, did you see the fighting or heard about it?
I wasn't there to see any fighting. I didn't see any like fist fighting or like I saw yelling.
It was one guy, right? It was just one guy.
But here's the thing. It got a little bit over the top. She has a little bit to do with that, or her bookers had a little bit to do with the mistake that happened. Because I understand she was trying to please her fans and like make everybody happy by giving them a lot of signatures and remarks for very very affordable. So I think she was doing them for she was giving 10 signatures for free per person, and I think it was like something as cheap. It was something as cheap as $25 per remark, which was really great of her to do for the fans. The problem is, everybody got mad, and they said that it was the sellers and everybody that were going in like causing the traffic lines. Meanwhile, I saw this with my own eyes. They were like, you had some like retailers and sellers that were taking like short boxes of comics and leaving them by her. They weren't there to be signed that moment and given to her. Like she was supposed to give them back like at the end of the day or the next day or whatever the case. They were just like leaving them for her to like. I guess they had side agreements to do. It wasn't causing any issue for the line. The people that were causing the issue was a lot of the VIPs, because the VIPs had paid a premium to get a VIP status in the con, and they got to jump up in front of the lines. And because of that, they were cutting everybody in the lines. And then on top of it, she had like basically 10 signatures, like no limit if you think about it, you know. So I think the biggest mistake was either by her personally or the bookers that put in that rule. They should have limited it down to like 1 or 2 signatures per person. Maybe give a bonus signature or 2 to the VIPs, and that's it. You know, that way you keep the lines moving and not have all that chaos going on.
This is her first con. She didn't know.
I understand that, but I'm just saying that that's the reason why everything like went nuts, because the VIPs were jumping ahead of time. That had a lot to do with the people that started the con too, because they're the ones that put those rules and they could skip lines.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we're working on 7 plus a few more. So.
You know, did you get your tickets for HeroCon yet?
No, do I need to get it now?
I don't know. I don't know how if it sells out or not. I got mine like a month and a half ago. I got a VIP because I want to skip lines and make fun of everybody while they're waiting.
Who's coming to HeroCon? Who's coming to HeroCon?
A lot of people going to HeroCon.
Artists. Which artists are coming?
Oh, only one that I remember is
John Romita Jr. is going to be there. I saw.
Oh, nice.
Old guy. Guy who did the Shield #1.
Chris Claremont's going to be there.
Nice.
Who did the Shield #1?
You're talking about
Steranko.
Steranko, yeah, Steranko.
Yeah, he's going to be there.
I want a Steranko signature.
If he doesn't have, I would love to get a picture with him because he's like a weird dude. I would love to get a picture with him. Like he's like one of these old dudes that still dye their hair with shoe polish.
I got the Shield #1. I'm gonna have Shield #1 and Spy. I want Spy.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna get that one. Those 2 books signed.
I don't have any really nice looking Steranko books like are in good condition. I might have to either pick one up before I go, or get one from the con when I'm there. Because I'd like to get, if he doesn't have big lines, I'd like to have him signed. Like I put priority on the older artists to sign stuff for me because you know they might be here today, going tomorrow.
My personal books from my childhood days, so I don't care what condition they're in. I'm just gonna sign it.
Well, I got a few books that are Steranko, but they're beat to shit. It'd be a shame if I take advantage of the opportunity of having him to sign something for me, and it's like on a comic that's like really like.
I mean, mine's like a 2.0 or something. I mean,
no, I'm talking about like some of my Steranko, like Tales to the Suspense books that I have. They're disastrous. Strange Tales. He did Strange Tales a lot. They're a mess. When I tell you a mess, they look like a comic book worm came and ate them and shit them out. That's how bad they are.
Anyway, I mean, I don't care what condition mine is in because it's from my childhood. I mean, I carried that for 40-some years. I'm gonna.
Oh, I understand that. I could definitely understand that. I would like to actually be able to see the signature clearly on the cover on one of them, and like the stuff I have, you wouldn't be able to do that. It wouldn't look right.
CJ is a horrible person.
Why am I a horrible person? Because I'm being honest.
Because you're using me as describe how horrible your comic book is.
No, I'm just telling you what I have.
I think, Brandon, I don't think Otaku Hyung, you gonna go to Summer's Con?
No. I'm going to Rose City Comic Con.
How many days are you going for, Norman?
Well, I guess I'm going for 3 days because if I'm driving with
With Joe.
Joe, Poken Joe, then if I'm going by myself, then I don't. I was just thinking Sunday myself.
You could take a what?
I was just thinking Sunday myself, but I don't know.
But if you got somebody to go with.
If I'm going with Joe, then I guess 2-3 days. I mean, is it what?
He said he's going to go there Thursday.
Oh,
I'm not going that early. I can go there.
Young Jay Lee's going to be there.
Ooh, I like Jay Lee. I got Jay Lee's book.
Jay Lee, I would love to have him sign one of my original Namors that he did. I know he hates that artwork, but I would love to have one of those books. Like, that's my first experience with Jay Lee. Either that or those shitty Image Hellshock books. Remember those?
Yeah, no, I remember his stuff on Image. He had some great Death Blow covers and.
I would rather him sign one of his like earlier pieces for me rather than like the later ones, even though he's more refined and much better artwork down the line. His artwork when he first started was so distinct. You knew it was him. Like you didn't
Carl
have
Potts is going to be there.
Who's that?
Carl Potts.
Who's that? What did he do?
I'm going to read him the beer.
Writer on Punisher War Journal.
Which one?
The Jim Lee. He was writer when Jim Lee was on the book.
Oh, what is he?
Carl Potts.
Did you guys try to get Jay Lee to be on your show?
No, we didn't. We should.
Why not?
He'll hook up with him.
Hook
up with him. Al Milgram is going to be there.
He's a good one.
Yeah.
He's a good one to he did that run on Amazing Spider-Man. What else did he do? He did a run on Punisher, I think, too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's good.
A lot of the Marvel stuff throughout that 80s period.
Well, he's the guy that created the black costume, right? Like that whole other than Shooter's involvement in Secret Wars, he's the one that developed it in Amazing Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Very historically significant comics.
Yep.
For Amazing Spider-Man, at least. You know?
Are you gonna try to get some stuff from him? Signatures?
Again, my barrier is how long I'm gonna wait.
It doesn't matter.
I'm not joking. I don't wait for anybody for hours. Unless you're Stan Lee that's resurrected from the dead, I'm not waiting through 2-3 hours for you online. I'm just not doing it. You know, and you know so my criteria is that if it's like a respectable line that I gotta wait like 10 minutes or something like that for, no problem.
Well, Steranko is gonna have a long line, I think.
Yeah, but I'm also gonna be there for 3 days. So, you know, I'm gonna pick and choose my time where I go.
Jim Starlin, Noel, Mike Grail had a long lines.
They did?
They did not.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'd rather go to that artist that's a little obscure as well, that's not as widely known, or maybe they're older and people forgotten about them and have small lines. And I'd rather go there and have a conversation with them and make it a little bit more personal than just like wait on the line like a lamb. Yeah. Holding my books in front of me, sign please, and then get out of there. You know.
Yeah, I really don't want to. I really enjoy my time with the.
Like Chris Claremont is one of the ones that tempt me to wait on a line for. Because I'd like to go get something signed by him by an X-Men book signed by him.
He charges though for
Well, that's another thing. If people are charging outrageous prices for their signature, I'm not gonna go. There's something.
I think you can expect $20. I think you can expect $20.
Per signature.
That's what his past prices were.
Per signature.
Although, yeah, per signature. Although he did the CGC thing, they were charging $70. So I don't know if he if that might have influenced what he'll charge.
Well, he was doing a charity thing here for fundraising. I feel bad that I would go. He was charging $10 per signature there. So if that's any,
I would do that. That's not bad.
I would have done that too. I just couldn't go that day that they were doing it. So, and my LCS, what an asshole! This is why I don't like LCS people. I go to the LCS all the time. Like, can you do me a favor? I can't be there. Can you just take a random X-Men book that he did? I don't care which one it is. Have him sign for it. I'll pay you for your time. He's like, no, I can't do that. You have to come and wait online with the rest of them. Like, you're an asshole. I come there every week. I spend all this money, and all I ask for, I didn't ask anything major. You're the one that's hosting the place. I'm sure he would have signed one book for you. And I'll pay double, triple, whatever it is to charity if that's what you want. All I want to do is get one book that I have signed by him. That would have been nice to have in my collection.
Hey, Otaku, you know Brandon? Looks like Brandon's in Seattle area.
Hey, what's up, Brandon?
So that's my, like, if somebody's asking for like crazy amounts of money, like $100 or something like that for a signature, screw that. I'm not doing that. Oh, and here's the other thing. If they're charging, let's say it's $20 per signature, right? And they decide to charge me different price for different books, I'm not doing that either. I refuse. Your signature is not going up in value just because it's on a different book. It's still your signature.
Yeah.
I still had to go out and buy that book to have you sign it.
Yeah, that's shady.
The Liefeld does that all the time, where he does like tier systems. Like if you go and
I don't even like Liefeld's art anyway.
Well, he's an asshole.
Well, McFarlane has a rule. He won't sign anything where it's not a character or book he's associated. So it has to either be a Spawn book, a character he created like Venom.
Well, that's fair though. Why would you want to sign somebody else's work?
Yeah,
I don't disagree with that. That's a fair thing to do. But he doesn't charge you a different price if he's charging.
Anybody sign a book that is not his own work?
Some people do that.
Yeah, I don't know why
Stanley, you could have given Stanley a Batman book. He would have signed it. It didn't matter. He signed anything.
Fanboy Prime.
Yeah.
That's why he became a joke until he died. As far as getting a Stanley signature, nobody was really valuing it as much as they should have been at the time, because he was just signing anything. He'll sign you on your forehead if you want.
So he's gonna offer you back.
Well, I mean, you saw the videos of him at those signing events, right? He's literally like slumped over and he's just doing this.
Just hang out. So let me.
Oh, it was sad towards the end.
Right.
It really was sad towards the end.
He wasn't enjoying it at all.
And I don't know if he was doing it. I don't think he had the need to do that financially anymore at that point. I don't know if it was just everybody around him pushing him to do that. And I hope that's not the case. I hope like he didn't spend the last years of his life forced to sign things because like his family members or people around him were like forcing him to do that. They're like, it wouldn't be sad if they're like, oh, you're gonna die soon, so get as much money as you can before you die. Like, I hope that wasn't the case.
That's unfortunate. It is.
What's the Stanley's work before he died?
What's that?
What was Stanley's work before he died?
His last work?
Stanley's work. WORTH.
Oh, I don't know. I don't do that. Like, I know there's a lot of people that go look up people's values or something. I don't look at that stuff, but I'm sure that he was okay. 50 million
in his work.
Yeah, so I think he was okay. His family was okay at that point,
So he didn't need to do that. He didn't need to do it unless he liked it.
Yeah, I hope he did it because he generally wanted to do it and just wasn't pushed to do it. And don't forget, there's all bloodsuckers around him too, like the agents and all those people that made percentages off of whatever he did. So,
I think we can agree. Having an older gentleman. Stan was well, he was like what, close to 80, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's in a chair or
No,
whether
he was well. He was over 80. He was like 90 something when he died.
Was he? Okay.
Oh yeah, he was old.
But like doing anything over an hour is going to be taxing, right? So if he's actually doing like an all-day signing at that age, that's got to be really rough. I don't care. I mean, that's rough for anybody, let alone somebody who's, you know.
Did I ever tell you my Stan Lee experience? I met Stan Lee
Oh yeah.
when I was a teenager at an old New York Comic Con, like before it was like what it is right now in the 90s.
Yeah.
Did he
Yeah,
say
what was it?
Excelsior to you?
Tell us about it.
So here's the thing: he had like a 2-hour line waiting for his signatures, and I still had the I'm not waiting online mentality back then too. So, and he was charging $5 a signature back then, and back then I was like, I don't know, I was probably like 17, 16 years old. I didn't have a lot of money. I mean, I had like 20, 30 bucks total on me. I'm like, I'm not gonna go and have him signed and like have to give up all that money, and I could buy a few comics with that same money. So I didn't wait online. But what happened was, at the con, they were giving out these Spider-Man cards with a little slot on the back for like somebody to sign if they want to, like a little collectible card. It said your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man or something like that was on there, or Spidey. I don't remember exactly what it said. So I hung around the whole day at the con, and after he was done signing, he got up and started walking around. So I'm like, all right, let me go and see. Maybe he'll sign this stupid little card for me, so I could just have it signed. And he's like, oh, yes, no problem. I'll sign it. He takes my card, and you know what he writes on the back? He writes, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Awesome.
But he didn't write Stan Lee. Now, if I got that now, I would have been like, awesome.
But at the time,
Back then, I'm like, what an asshole. I wanted his name. I didn't want Spider-Man. I was so irritated. I was so annoyed that he did that and didn't actually write Stan Lee on there.
because you can't sell it or anything.
No, because I'm like, I think I gave it to somebody, or like I sold a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, I'll even throw the stupid Stan Lee card in there too with you.
Oh,
no. Yeah, that's what I ended up doing.
Oh, well, that's not a good story.
Yeah, well, that's my Stan Lee story. We all have a story. That's my story.
Yeah.
Did you?
But,
I get where you're coming from. I think part of me would have been like, why couldn't he have signed his name? But in hindsight, though, isn't that something you'd want, like a personal, more like a personal?
If I got that now, I would appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll give you another example. I'm walking around back then. Vampirella was like a big deal. It was when Harris Comics started, got the rights for her, and started like revamping her and bringing her back. So they had this model that was dressed as Vampirella, and she was actually the most known model to be Vampirella. Like she was
95.
She was very famous for being Vampirella. I didn't know at the time. I thought it was just some chick in a like a Vampirella costume that looked hot, So I'm walking around, and she's like, she had like a stack of Vampirella books next to her that she was selling. I guess for Harris, she was there to throw. So I'm like, all right, I'll buy one. She's like, would you like it signed? I'm like, sure. She fucking writes Vampirella on the book. I got so annoyed.
That's a good story.
It's like if I went, like, I really would like to get a Lou Ferrigno signature on a photo cover book. Like, I would love to get like a photo cover. I would get so fucking irritated if he wrote Hulk on there and not Lou Ferrigno. Am I on an island by myself as far as that thought process?
Don't choke on whatever you're eating.
Am I that crazy? No, be honest. Stop laughing at me.
No, that's a good story. I think I would get annoyed too.
I might, the funny thing, I might have that Vampirella book somewhere in my long boxes hidden
No,
somewhere.
you're just making this shit up. You're just making this shit up.
Are you making that up?
Vampirella book?
It was, you know what? It was that Art Hughes Vampirella cover too, and she fucking wrote Vampirella on there.
Well, you've got Vampirella's signature on there. You could tell everybody, hey, I actually met Vampirella.
Oh, gosh. You think she was?
Like the only person that I would be okay with writing like their character name would be like Elvira, because she actually
She
she actually legally owns that name, Elvira,
There's no other Elvira.
and she legally owns every single right to that name.
Anybody want to join the stream? Here's the link.
Yeah, as long as you don't make fun of me with my freaking
It's
signature.
gonna be news.
CJ, if I ever got your signature, I would want CJ. I'd want you to sign it CJ,
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
not your real name. Because I know you as CJ.
I did a couple pieces for the Worm. How did I sign them? With my name or with Comic Journey? What did I sign them as?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I probably put my real name because I got such a pet peeve of like
People signing their personas.
it's a weird pet peeve of mine as far as my way of like collecting my things. I want your real name on there, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's people there's you know how many assholes are willing to pay Robert Downey Jr. to write Iron Man instead of Robert Downey Jr.? You're not Iron Man. You're Robert Downey Jr. You freaking defect. You write your name.
Does
You
he
know?
write Iron Man instead of
He charges extra to write Iron Man.
really?
Yeah, because he's a douche.
I don't want. Like
He's not Iron Man.
Yeah.
He's Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And besides that, I wouldn't want a signature on my comic book either. You know, because unless it's a photo cover, I don't want actors signing my books.
That's a great point.
It has to be a
completely
photo
agree
cover.
with you. Yeah.
Like I wouldn't take a random Hulk
What
book.
if they draw
Makes
just
no
like
sense.
or
Makes no
or
sense.
just like them?
What if they're what?
Like for instance, Michelle Pfeiffer's covers.
Oh, you mean like somebody that
So
drew like
that's like a photo cover. That counts as a photo.
that's a little different because it's like it's like a artist imagery of the person's likeness. It's a little different.
So you will get Michelle Pfeiffer's signature then.
If it looked like her on the cover,
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
would
what I'm
have her signature as long as she doesn't write Catwoman.
Yeah. No.
Listen, if she wants to write Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, all of that in there, no problem.
Yeah.
But I don't want Catwoman. It has to be Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I think that she wasn't trolling you. She was just trolling you.
No, she thought like it was like I should be happy that she wrote Vampirella on there.
Yeah.
I think I even told her, "What the hell is this?" No.
Maybe
Even
maybe she didn't want you to know her real name. She got
Well,
some
you know what?
creepy vibes from you.
Don't offer to sign shit if you.
Understanding early '90s, he was doing signing in Hawaii. It was so
Nice. Free
Like,
art.
what the hell? Like, if I go and walk around with a Batman mask, should I go around signing people's book on Batman on there?
All right. Yeah.
I think that's a little ridiculous. What the hell does he mean? I'm jelly. What the hell does that mean?
Jealous.
CJ jealous?
Jelly of what?
Jealous of what?
Of Vampirella.
No, because apparently I got her signature. So how would I be jealous of her? If you're gonna make a comment, people, you got to at least make it clear why. No?
I mean, I want Robert Downey Jr. If I want a signature from Robert Downey Jr., I want Robert Downey Jr. I don't want. He's not Iron Man.
Let's
The
do
only-
this.
Listen,
Let's do this.
if I get a thing of Robert Downey Jr., I want it on a crack vial, so I know that it's authentic. You know, because you know he did the recovery and everything like that. All right, put it on some drugs. You know that's more fitting than on a comic book.
What about,
Okay.
Hey, what about that comic where Iron Man is an alcoholic? What about that one?
See, that's an interesting book, but I still wouldn't want him signing that book.
Will it?
If- I wouldn't want him signing that book because he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
If he wrote it, if he drew it, if he colored it, if he inked it, if he produced it, if he published it, even fine. He had nothing to do with it. No, now if maybe if I had a poster that looked like that, maybe I'll have him sign that.
What if you said I could relate to this and Robert
I
Downey-
think it's very disrespectful to the artists themselves when you have some other random dude sign their book that they had nothing to do with. It's very disrespectful.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
getting a book signed, it's kind of like I look at signatures. If you're going to get it signed on if it's not a blank piece of paper, okay, if it's not a blank piece of paper, it should be related to the person you're getting signed.
How about this, guys? You mentioned something about somebody charging more for different type of books. But what if you make it well known that you're getting that signature for your personal thing, not to flip it?
It shouldn't make any difference to me.
Okay.
It shouldn't make any difference. Your signature is still your signature. You're not doing anything differently, signing one book over the other. You're still signing it the same way.
I mean,
Yeah.
for instance, when I'm getting a signature from a artist, I want them to know that this is because I really admire your work.
I understand that. There's many people like if I'm gonna sit and wait to get somebody's signature, I'm gonna do it for the reason of wanting to have it in my personal collection to keep it. You know, otherwise I'll just buy it and
For
flip
instance,
it.
I don't want the person who's signing my book to think that I'm just.
Wanting to flip it, yeah.
Well, I think you're overthinking it too much as far as what you want them to think or not think, because they're going to think whatever they want to think regardless. Because you know how many people are bullshitting and tell them, this is my personal collection, and immediately as soon as they sign it, they sell it?
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a question. Okay, assuming you could go back in time, assuming you have access to any one book, any comic book,
Gal Gadot, yeah.
What-
you know,
what book would you want signed and by whom?
What book would I want signed and by whom?
Yeah, this is
That's
a
a
PC book. Yeah,
That's a very interesting question.
Mhm.
And
and it could be
because-
anybody. It could be anybody. Imagine just having it like if you could put a book on your shelf, signed copy of any book by anybody. What would that be?
it's a little bit of a tough question because I'll tell you something. There's a handful of books that I would love to have signed, surely for the fact that they are so historical and so significant. Like you get a Bob Kane Batman Detective 27 signed. I mean, you know, how many of those exist in anywhere? And that's amazing.
Would you just go Bob Kane, or would you go Bob Kane and Bill Finger?
I mean, to have both of them on there, to have signed, that'd be. But I don't know if that would mean personally as much to me more than having something as a trophy, because that I feel like that's more of a trophy thing for me. Like, look what I have, kind of thing. This is amazing, and I would like be proud of having it, and it'd be like my shiny thing that I have to show around. But I don't know if it personally makes that much of a difference to me. Like as far as it, like
Yeah, if you're not a Bob Kane fan, and a lot of people aren't.
I'm a Batman fan,
Yeah.
and I'm very thankful that Bob Kane came up with the character.
Mhm.
And it's significant. And don't get me wrong, like it's amazing, and I cherish it if I had it. But I don't know if it would historically impact me in any way more than anything else to have that.
I would love to get Jack
Fair
Kirby's on my Commandy #1.
I think
There
personally,
you go. There you go.
Jack Kirby.
Mandy.
Jack
I
Kirby
think-
on my Commandy #1.
I think you know what I would love to have, because I was a Marvel kid. I grew up as a Marvel kid, and Marvel meant the world to me growing up. I did like Superman. I did like Batman, but they were always secondary to me. I was more of a Spider-Man, Fantastic Four fan, that kind of stuff.
Next
Hulk.
available.
I think I would love, like, I think what would make me happiest, and I would cherish the most in my collection to have signed, would be a Hulk #1 signed by both Jack Kirby and Stan Lee.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, I think that would mean more to me on a personal level over like a shiny trophy piece. Don't get me wrong. I mean, anybody that has an Incredible Hulk signed by those two people, I think
That's pretty.
it's something to brag about.
Yeah,
But,
that's trophy right there.
but as far as
Doesn't, long as you're not nude,
Well,
that's fine, Joe.
Hulk was my character that I grew up with, and to this day, he's still my favorite character in the whole world. So, you know,
I know what I want, and it's complete trophy. It's a complete trophy.
what's that?
It'd be Action Comics 1, signed by, Joe Siegel and Joe Shuster, right there.
The trophy would be, you would have that as a bigger trophy over Detective 27 or Action 1. I know Action 1 is the one that started it all, basically.
Yeah, that would be my trophy over everything. That'd be the ultimate grail. Not just to have the most expensive comic book.
Is there such a book exist?
A signed copy? I doubt it. I'm sure there's got to be a signed copy.
It might be
No,
something
both of them
floating
signed.
around.
Both of them signed, still exist.
Oh my gosh! Could you imagine what that would be worth?
There must be something floating around that's been signed by both.
It's got to be, right? There's got to be.
Maybe a reprint.
Because those guys died.
I
They
figured
died a long time ago.
Bob Kane did sign a lot of stuff, though.
Huh?
Bob Kane did sign a lot of stuff, though,
Okay.
throughout his life, because he died, I think, in the 90s. Bob Kane.
Right. Yeah, that's true. He was big during the
So,
Who was it? Siegel that did Superman? It was Siegel and Schuster.
yeah.
They didn't live that long, into the 90s. I think they died in the 80s or 70s.
Actually, Siegel died in '96. It's saying.
Was it? He went that long?
But I think you're right. Like he lived to the '90s, but he probably wasn't doing much toward the end there, right? Because that's old. Well, actually, he died 81 years old, so 96.
Because Bob Kane, I remember watching the interviews
Mhm.
where, like, when Batman '89 came out,
Mhm.
he was so proud of, like, the fact that they was making it to movies. He was going to every single appearance and everything. He had like a new lease on life when Batman went to the movies.
Mhm.
So I remember vividly him being around in the 90s. I don't remember Siegel or Schuster really publicly out there at those time periods.
You're right.
I think they were more bitter about their situation.
You want to hear my most horrible experience with signatures?
Sure.
I mean, like, other than like people signing the wrong name on their books, like that, like what I was telling you before. I actually had bought a bunch of quarter bin books when I was a kid, and I found a bunch of Eternals and Forever Gods, New Gods.
Wow.
You guys are for the people.
I guess after years of owning them, when I decided to finally open them up and like look at them, what I found inside, I found Jack Kirby's signature on the front page.
No.
And it was at least 7 or 8 books like that.
Of all Kirby?
Yeah, and you know, I rewind because when I first got those,
story, right?
I was a little kid.
Do you still
I
have those books?
No, unfortunately, no, because I got them as a little kid, and I thought some asshole kid just wrote on them. I didn't realize it was signed by Kirby. When I got old enough to realize whose signature that was, I was like, "Holy crap, this is pretty cool." But they were part of the collection that I lost. That actually those got lost in the floods that I had in. No, actually, those were thrown out by my mother because she had a raccoon infestation in her garage, and she had to throw out everything that was inside the garage because you know they basically piss and shit all over everything, and you got to like basically she had to throw everything out in there and basically bring the garage down to the studs and rebuild the whole thing. That's how bad it got.
So she threw out Kirby signature books.
Everything that I had in there.
That sucks.
Yeah, everything.
Yo, I just sent you a link. You wanna share that one?
So that was my most heartbreaking signature experience.
Okay, I have a question for people in the chat here. I just shared my, I guess it will be the ultimate grail of grails.
Where'd you put it at?
What about you, Naman? What would be your ultimate book to have if you had any book signed by the artist?
I already told you.
He said the Kirby Commandy.
Oh, Commandy, he said, right?
Ultimate one, right? Kim Zano Hotel.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Kim Zano.
That would mean the most to you.
Yeah, because fellow Korean, he's 80-some years old right now. And,
that's a good one. Yeah, I think I'd want that too. Not over Action Comics.
I mean that's a monetary difference, right? That's a monetary difference.
But again, you admitted.
I cannot resist selling it for millions of dollars. Okay.
But Otaku would be. But you admitted though that Action Comic would be a trophy piece for you. It'd be that shiny thing to wave around.
I would sell it. I'm sorry, I gotta sell it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I would if I had that Hulk, I would never sell it.
I would not sell the Action Comics. I would not.
If I had that Hulk #1 signed by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, I would never sell it.
First of all, I'm going to talk to Hyung on a Superman to Superman level. Hyung, you're a fan of Superman, right?
Yeah, I am. But right? How much is that book?
We collect Superman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't matter how much it's worth. You're not going to physically. I'll have my son sell it after I'm gone. What I'm saying is like,
man, it changes my life. It will change my life.
Of course, yeah, of course, it would change your life. I'm not saying you shouldn't sell it. I'm just saying for me, if I have that book, it's my book because you're talking about the first appearance of Superman, who basically is the foundation of this entire hobby.
You would basically never be able to replace that.
For me, let's say I don't know.
Cyclotron's coming in.
Yeah, the kind of stuff we're talking about is completely irreplaceable.
Yeah, I just think that if I have that kind of book and both of those guys signed, there will be only books available. I just don't deserve that kind of book. I mean,
Why don't you deserve it?
You deserve it.
I don't have a
safe
structure to go around that book. I cannot steal that book. Somebody's gonna steal it from me.
You gotta put it in.
I don't understand that logic though. Like you don't deserve it. Like that's a very
I mean, I don't have the structure to go around that book. I
Oh,
don't-
wait,
I
wait,
know
let's
what
let's
is
give
the-
Psychotron an opportunity to answer the question.
What's the question, sorry?
Yeah, okay, I'll repeat it. So, if you could own any one comic book signed by any person, what would it be? Any number of people, any one comic book. What would
I
that?
think I'm gonna. I feel like such a sellout saying this, but Todd McFarlane ASM 300.
You know what? I would have guessed that. Like if you told me guess, I would have guessed that because I know you're such a big Venom fan.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's a good choice. Yeah.
But I don't know why you would say you're a sellout. I think the fact that you're walking around with a Venom hat and you're such a big fan of Venom, that doesn't make you a sellout.
It's
That
a,
makes you-
it's a symbiote,
Yeah.
inner symbiote talking.
I feel
I think-
like it makes every single person ever's top 10, whether you know anything about comics or not. You know, if you've been into comics for 6 months and you were to make a top 10 comics, that's one of the books you're going to put on that list.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Good book.
that book is not realistic. Otaku book is not realistic, right?
Well, listen, what I said was realistic.
No.
Like, we didn't
Not
say-
realistic for me,
we
no.
said what if you can have it. We didn't say if it will happen. We said if you had a choice of anything historically to have, and it can be done by
I mean,
magic.
the
There you
idea
go.
of owning a Super Action Comic #1 signed by both creators, where it's only book available in the entire planet. Idea of keeping that book.
Yeah, but you said something odd.
With my means, right? I mean, my
Well, but you said something odd. We told you you wouldn't be you would have it. We didn't say that you had to go pay billions of dollars for it. You said you would have it. You said that you don't deserve it. Why? Why don't you deserve it?
because I just cannot protect that book. I just cannot.
Well, yeah. Guess what? If you have it, you'll learn how to protect it real fast.
I mean, the book without me selling it, the book is not going to generate cash, is it?
Well, Young,
You can get a loan on it.
you can
if
put
you
in
really need the cash.
you can put in a safety deposit box at your bank. Your bank
Yeah,
can
but
open that up.
how much of insurance would I have to pay for it?
You probably have to pay some insurance on that. But
Yeah, I mean,
but the thing is, like the banks, they have these lock boxes that you can pay for,
I know that, but
Yeah. and it's secure. It's very secure.
yeah,
You just you don't get to look at it from time to time. Like if you want to go look at it, you have to go to the bank.
yeah,
But,
I just don't, I just don't see it me being able to afford to keep it.
Right.
When I say I don't deserve it, I mean I just
Yeah, but I think you're way overthinking it. Like as far as like, what you say to own the book, not like whether you have the means to keep it or protect it.
okay,
Or
well,
whatever.
then, I'm
What if you owned it and it was in a museum?
Let's say you were old geezer and you were around when it existed, and you bought it brand new off the newsstand, and you got it signed personally yourself. Would you say to yourself, "I have to get rid of it because I own it"? No, you say you'd be happy that you have it all these years. I would think so. I don't know. That's just my mindset.
I mean,
All right, so get this. There is a Jerry Siegel signed CGC. It's not a CGC signature. It's got the green label. Okay. But it's a signed copy of the reprint.
That I assumed that there had to be a reprint floating
yeah,
around.
Rippin, I could see it.
It's on eBay right now, and it's selling for $1,600. It's not verified,
Yeah,
but it is. If you look at the signature, it's a Jerry Siegel signature on a reprint of Action Comics 1 for $1,600. Yes or no? Is it worth it?
Uh,
Not verified.
if it had some providence that came with it, as far as showing
What's the
how it was
grade?
signed or where it got signed from, I think it's well worth it because
I would buy it. I just
Yeah.
don't have $16. If I ever get to a point where I have $1,600, I would
What's
buy
the
it.
grade on the
I wouldn't buy
CGC
it
book?
just because I saw it like
9.4.
that. And I wouldn't take the word of
9.4.
the seller. I would have to have some providence of how they got it.
There's a COA on the back of the.
All right, so
Yeah.
there's
It's like a
something.
great
Oh,
skill,
that,
right?
that changes a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little different, but like for example, like those Jack Kirby books. I don't have. When I was a kid, I didn't have any proof for where they got signed from, or whatever. I would have to go get them somehow certified that they were signed. Same thing. Same thing would go with this book. Nobody's going to take
That's a
anybody's
great
word for
book.
it.
That's a great book and the point because I do see people selling signatures online that look nothing like the actual signatures.
Yeah, there's unfortunately too many scammers out there,
A lot of scammers.
and I'm a little too cynical to just take somebody's word for it.
I mean, I can understand if it's somewhat similar and you're looking at it, you're like, maybe that could be it.
Listen, it's a different thing. If you were going to a con and you told me, listen, that he's going to be there, and I'm going to get a signature, and you say you want me to get you one for you, oh, no problem, because I know you and I'll feel more comfortable. But to go get it from a random eBay guy, I wouldn't feel that comfortable.
Well, my point is they don't even look similar. Like they're selling a signature looks nothing like the actual signature. So there's a difference between like it kind of looks like it as opposed to at least there's a little bit of uncertainty there.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at a signature and you're looking at the actual signature, they look not. It's like somebody had actually just had no idea what the actual signature looked like and just wrote like Jim Lee on it, right? It's like that's what these guys are selling, and they're not even.
That's funny. I have a Jim Lee Fantastic Four signed. Mm-hmm. It kind of looks like Jim Lee's signature, but I'm not sure.
Oh, were you scammed?
No, I didn't get it for expensive. I got it for like $4 or something like that. So even if it's a fake signature, I didn't care. I just want to have a copy of it.
Yeah.
But if it is Jim Lee's signature and it could be verified, that's a big deal.
Come up, don't talk. Take your shirt off.
So Jim Lee, it's interesting. His signature can actually be. It's not a very complicated signature. It's like kind of like a lot of squiggles. With like a L kind of slash.
It's not very. It's not very appealing signature.
It can be forged. Is my point. Like Jim Lee's signature can be forged rather easily if you're somewhat, dexterous. But like John Byrne's signature, no one is faking John Byrne's signature. Mm-hmm. That is such a difficult signature to, and he did that I think on purpose, maybe because he's an artist and he understands. Like maybe has that mindset. I think it just takes a little more pride in the signature. That's the thing. Yep. McFarlane takes a lot of pride in his signature as well. Yep. McFarlane's another guy. You can't fake that. It's hard to try to forge that one.
As much as we hate Liefeld, he takes a lot of pride in his signature as well.
Okay.
Because if you notice, this guy's such an asshole. He will charge you a different price for a different type of signature.
I'm naked.
He has his regular signature, and then he'll charge you a different price for his chiseled signature. If you know the difference between the two signatures, he has one that is that classic '90s chiseled type of signature that he did, and then he has his more common one.
Yep. Yeah. No, great point.
But I actually love when the artist actually uses a little bit of calligraphy and a little bit of stylization in their signatures, because it shows that they have pride in the way they sign their art.
Oh yeah.
And there's the squiggle. Like Stanley had a horrible signature as well.
Yeah, Stanley's signature looks different now,
Well,
depending on when you got his signature.
You don't get what you don't
even
ask
when he
for.
was even in his younger days, he didn't have a beautiful signature.
Stanley had a very distinct signature. But the thing about, like, we were talking about these
Hey,
cons,
Switch
right?
comment.
Where
Hey,
all
Switch.
these CGC these like verified signatures was when he's like, kind of out of it and just scribbling on a lot of these books. And so,
Putting the links out, guys.
Well, here's the thing. Like, all right, this may actually help some of the chat people in here. I don't know how many people are on the chat, but this actually might help them a little bit. A lot of people will buy the stuff that is verified or certified by CBCS or through another agency or through that kind of thing. I still don't feel comfortable 100% by verified or certified signatures. I prefer the ones that were actually witnessed by a third party.
So CGC.
Yeah, and they actually say witnessed. Like, if I'm not there to see it with my own eyes being signed, I'd rather buy something that actually, like when I bought that Jim Lee signature book, the Superman 204 that I told you about. It doesn't say certified. It doesn't say verified.
Yeah. Well,
It says
I think
witness.
this is where I would disagree because there first of all there are going to be a lot of signed books, okay, out in the wilderness that aren't certain CGs, and we're talking just throughout history. Like you're never going to get a Neil. Well, I shouldn't say that. You're never going to get, for example,
Jack Kirby.
Yeah, like a Jack Kirby CGC certified, but
Yeah.
his signatures are out there, right? So you just gotta know, like you gotta have a good idea of what his signature looks like. Kind of look at the context of the seller, where they got it, and you gotta take a kind of a leap of faith and just believe, okay, this is something that you
Yeah.
haven't personally authenticated, but kind of believe to be the case, right?
The thing is, my leap of faith starts to dilute as the price goes up.
Well, what if you're an expert and you know this particular artist?
Higher.
Is that fair?
I mean, if
Yeah, I
you
guess
don't know
so.
the artist and you don't know why it's signed and it's an expensive book, I would say, yeah, don't buy it.
Don't buy it. Yeah.
But if you've been sitting there for months looking at Donny Cates signatures, you know what a Donny Cates signature looks like, or a Jim Shooter.
But you're also not going to pay. You're not going to pay a few $1,000s for these signatures.
I would hope not. Yeah.
You know, you're going to pay maybe a couple $100s at the most for these signatures.
Hey, channel, by the way, this is a counterfeit Insomniac channel.
Well, again, let's go back to that $1,600 Jerry Siegel signature, okay, on the Action Comics reprint.
Yeah.
I think that's assuming you could, let's just make the assumption, which I am, in buying that book, that's his signature. $1,600 for even on a reprint of Action Comics.
Well, do you have that? Do you have that up on your computer that you could share with everybody right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so let's dissect it.
So my first question is, can you find it on the CGC census?
Well, no, because it's a green label.
It's a green label.
It's a green label. So it basically, here's what CGC does. Either it says writing on cover, or it might actually say writing of a certain name on the cover. I want to see what they actually write in the description of it.
Yeah, I think it usually says name written in marker.
Yeah, but sometimes they actually write Stan Lee written on cover.
Oh, I see.
Sometimes they'll write specific things like that. That makes a difference as far as.
Here we go.
Because that's kind of like them saying, without saying, that it's pretty much the right thing, you know? The green label where they write name written on marker or writing on cover, it doesn't really say, like, they're probably not even sure what's being written on there at that point. Are you able to? Do they have a zoom of the green label?
I'm sharing it, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do they have a
It's on
picture
the
that
image.
the green label is zoomed?
All right.
yeah. There you go. So go over the signature.
It says Jerry Siegel and 901 of 2000 written on cover and marker. And let me show you the back of the book.
It says
They actually
901.
slabbed 900 of
Is it
two.
is it
900
unusual
of
for them to slab the certification?
2001. Can you
Yeah.
see that?
I don't think that certification is in the slab. It's probably in
Oh,
the
it's in
Mylar.
the bag, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, on the you say? Yeah, probably on the
So,
outside.
so the description
So this
says
is the certification here. Dynamic Forces, yeah, has issued us this certificate to authenticate
Yeah.
this cup
okay. So
as one of a limited
can
series
see-
of 2000 side
that's
and
actually a
number.
good sign. That's actually a good sign because Dynamic Forces did do a lot of contract agreements with a lot of artists back in the 90s. What does it say a year? Like 92, 93 or something like that?
1993.
It said in the 90s.
It says 1993 on the back.
Here we go.
There you go. There you go. So, like, I remember distinctly Dynamic Forces doing a lot of different contract agreements with various artists
Look,
at that time.
1993 is 1993 is the year this comic was printed, so it's around that time, I would imagine. Yeah.
The certification doesn't have a date on it, right?
No, it doesn't.
See, that's another thing why I don't that I don't like about the certifications. Why they don't a lot of times put the date that it was certified on there.
So understand this is actually a good point. Siegel died in 96. Okay, so this is 3 years. It was signed 3 years before he died. We're assuming,
Possibly, yeah.
possibly, yeah. So that's something to consider. There's the
And
signature.
how did Jerry
Again,
Siegel die?
that I'm not sure. So
'Cause if
this
he-
this is the signature. It looks like a signature of an 80-some-year-old, right? He died 81 or something. So this looks like
Yeah.
a signature of it's not clean. It's very carefully written, but it's not like a vibrant young signature for sure. I love it. I mean, I think this is for $1,600. Come on.
I personally wouldn't pay $1,600 for this book. Just for the
Okay,
sheer
so there's
fact.
900. There's 2,000 of these available. Let's see if we can find another one on eBay, right? So you're saying
I
you wouldn't
think-
get because of the variable that
Because-
it might not.
Yeah, because it might not be truly authentic.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can't find another one of these Dynamic
It,
Forces.
it surpasses my leap of faith threshold as far as financially. Once I get into like $1,000 plus, my pessimism goes into overdrive.
Okay. Here's another one. Much less than that previous one.
The signature too?
And what was the grade on it? Because that matters too.
Okay. So
They're both
I'm gonna
9.4s.
have to
That's a 9.4 as well.
hang on. I have to share my other. Well, I have to share the other screen here.
I saw one that there was two of them for sale together.
Yeah.
That was a signed and an unsigned, though.
By the way, it's not Corona that I have. It's not germs. It's me being a smoker that I'm coughing. Just in case any of the germaphobes out there were wondering.
We don't wonder like you
Mine
do.
is from Germs.
Okay, so this is a different one. This is 992 of 2000.
And it's a 9.6.
Okay, so it's from the same.
God, that signature
Before.
looked exactly like the other one.
And well, again, given that it's he was
Wait, hold on.
sitting there doing it, should look like the other one, right?
Hold on. The slab says 9.4, but under it it says graded 9.6.
Oh yeah, you're good point. Good point. That's sort of false advertising. I would not buy this one for sure, right?
Well, does the other one say the same
That's
thing?
suspect.
It looks like it's from the same guy, maybe.
Well, no, it's not from the same guy, but
Oh,
it is.
okay.
This guy's TFES. The other dude. Let me see. Let's see the other dude's name.
And does it have the same kind of certification on the back?
It's a different similar.
Does this have the
Yeah,
certification
it's
as well?
exact same. This one's suspect because I think they could have. The fact that it's saying it's graded 9.6 when the picture is 9.4.
Are you able to
That's
zoom
pretty
in
suspect.
on the label? Are you able to zoom in on the label and see what the CGC number is on there?
Sure, yeah.
All right, so let's zoom in and see what the number is,
Well,
and
I
then
mean,
see
the
if
question isn't that the picture of the slab.
you think he's
The
just
question
using a
isn't
generic picture.
of the slab. I'm thinking he just it could be a scam in the sense that he's just creating this false advertisement, right? So that's another thing to consider. I'm looking at
Or maybe
the,
I've seen other
his-
advertisement look just like his with varied grades.
Or maybe he's just a lazy guy. He uses a generic picture.
Yeah. Well, he has a lot of positive. He has a 100% positive feedback on over 2,000 items sold. So
So he's got some longevity. There's something to it.
yeah, 2,000.
But you
That's
get
just
what I'm
weird
saying?
to have 100%.
Like, but okay, so he sold that for under 1,000. Let's say he's on the up and up. The other one is selling it for 1,600, and let's say he's on the up and up. Don't you see there's a big disparity in the price?
$400 for that kind of builder.
Okay, well, here's another one. Here's another one. This is not CGC graded. It's the same seller, TFES. Okay, check this one out. So this guy apparently has a bunch of Jerry Siegel Dynamic Forces sign. Okay.
Okay.
Just signed copy.
So this is raw.
No CGC verification. This is raw. For this one is way lower in price.
Well, that's because it's raw, and one, you don't know what the grade is, and two, it's not encapsulated.
Yeah. Well, assuming they did, assuming you didn't read the thing, like you could assume it's in a 9 in the 9.0 range, right? I would imagine if it's signed, it's not like it's going to be sitting in a bag.
How much you sell that? 600?
700.
700. I wouldn't pay it.
698.
I wouldn't pay that.
You wouldn't pay for it.
You want to know what my threshold
I don't think I would
be
buy
to pay for that? It would probably be no more than $100. That would be my gamble.
500.
100. No, I'm being really serious. That as far as
Well,
my
I think
gamble,
if you're going to pay 100 for a Siegel signature, it's gonna not be authentic.
well,
Right, it's
whether it's authentic or it's not authentic, I got to go through a whole process to authentify it. Because
good point.
Because I wouldn't take it honestly if I had a raw book like that was like by some significant person that like historically would make a difference on that book. I wouldn't even take it to CBCS who will verify it. I would actually take it to a true signature authentication service that actually works for the auction houses. And they get paid big money. They get paid like probably like a few $100 just to authentify these signatures to make sure that they're real. That's where I would go.
Okay, here's a
That's not signed.
here's a question. No, it's not signed. Would you pay any? Would you spend what's the spend? Would you
What's
ever
the what?
pay $2.5 million to eBay? Would you ever pay $2 million to eBay for something?
Well, this is a special one. $2.5 million for a 9.6 that's not signed. I think that makes it very special. So maybe not 2.5. Maybe 2.25.
Well, I mean, let's just assume you had $2.5 million to burn. Would you really buy it off eBay though?
No,
Yeah, possibly.
Right.
not unless it was like Jake
Does it
Paul.
allow for return? Does it allow for
But yeah, I'll tell you why possibly, because a thing like that is going to be super, super, super backed by eBay as far as protection is concerned. They're not going to release the guy's money until they get notification that you received it. You get what I'm saying? It's not like it's not one of these transactions that are going to happen and the guy could never send it to you or disappear with the money or whatever the case is. It's not like one of those things. And even if he did, eBay has so much to lose by the bad publicity that of somebody being scammed for that kind of money on their platform that you will get reimbursed. There's insurance on these books.
And just checking out the seller here, Comic Warehouse. It looks like they are an auction house of rare books. So
I don't understand why he has $2.5 million on a
Like
stupid
dogs sleeping?
a reprint book.
no, it's not a reprint. It's the original.
Wait, he has a 9.6 original?
That's what we're looking at.
Wait, that's
what we're looking
original?
at.
You were going to pay 2 point what
This is a-
for a reprint?
Okay,
I was
let's back
fucking
up.
wrong.
Let's
I didn't
back
realize it was an original book.
Let's back up.
Oh,
A copy of the original Action Comics. It's a 9.6 graded CBCS copy. Okay. Comic Warehouse. They're looks like they're rare books.
There's something wrong with that. That seems a little
list
low.
price is $2.5 million.
That actually seems a little low.
9.6?
Yeah, that seems very low.
I agree. I
believe the highest sale that happened last year wasn't the highest sale that happened last year for Action Comics at 4.7 million.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Am I wrong?
I don't remember the grading this high either.
It might have been a 9.6. I don't think it was 9.8.
Well, I don't think there's nothing left. I don't think nothing could last 9.8 for this long.
No, the Action Comics. Yeah, the Action Comics that sold was not 4. It was like 2.9 something, I think.
There was one book that sold for 4.7 recently.
I don't remember being that high.
In the past year or so.
Was it that high? Was it 4?
And that was the highest rated sale to date.
What's that noise?
I know that there was there was an Action Comics that had sold for 3 million. That record was broken by an Amazing Fantasy that was sold after that, and then there was another Action Comics that was sold, I believe.
Okay,
don't hold me to this, but I believe it was for 4.7 million. Let me do a quick Google.
No, so The record is 3.1. The record is 3.1, and that sold in January of last year.
Otaku Young, you have the control. I'm gonna go to sleep.
I am too, actually. All right, guys, it was fun hanging out.
Okay.
Thanks for joining, man.
Good night, guys. I gotta go. I'm sorry, I gotta go to sleep.
It's all good.